And we're live. There we are.
Welcome, everyone, to Notorious DMG. I am Dustin from Tabletop to Keyboard, and tonight I'm going to be taking over the role of storyteller, and we're going to be playing some Werewolf the Apocolypse. And I got myself a small but loyal band of soon-to-be Guru who are going to be taking on some worm foes tonight once we get around to the actual adventure part of the program. But for at least for Chuck, he's never made a werewolf character before, and I believe Bert and Baufrin both have. Just listening to him talk, I believe they're more familiar with the system. But we are going to do some character creation tonight, so if you're unfamiliar with werewolf, you're going to get to watch the werewolves get made live. We'll talk a little bit about the choices, how you build a sheet, how the mechanics work a little bit, and then we're going to have a fun little adventure that's going to be near and dear to Chuck's heart because most of it comes from his stream. So without any further ado, let's talk to some of our players. Chuck, why don't you go ahead and kick everyone off here?
What do you want? Just who I am?
Yeah, just the usual.
Okay. Yeah, I am Chuck of Defenders of Kobold. We do live streams. We play a bunch of different shit. I'm also a resident GM over Zweihander. I don't know. Defenders of Kobold. Right now we're playing Dark Trails and some DCC, getting ready to hop into some Tiny Dungeons. That's Chuck. Yeah.
Right. Baufrin, why don't you go ahead and tell them who you are?
I'm just has been introduced. I'm Baufrin. I throw up occasional helpful guides for Fantasy Grounds, streaming it live and then trying to get it over to YouTube when my lazy self can sit there and manage to get the lawnmower to edit the footage so that way it sounds appropriate. All that happy stuff. And stream on Tuesdays pretty consistently when people don't have health issues.
All right. So, Bert?
Hey, I'm Bert. I'm the host and primary GM of the podcast of Steam, Steel, and Murder, where we play things. We play lots of things. Played lots of things for a long time. Occasionally, I edit stuff for folks for money.
All right. So what we're going to be playing tonight is Werewolf the Apocolypse, and in particular because it's been through a few re-editions. I actually own the second edition book because this was the edition. If I don't break stuff. This was the edition I owned back in high school and college when I first got into the World of Darkness. And so it is the edition that I know the best, and Werewolf has always been one of my favorite games in the World of Darkness. Yeah. So, it's the one that when I told the guys I wanted to do one of the World of Darkness games, because Matt, Chuck, and some of them have never experienced the World of Darkness, I was like, well, Werewolf is the one I'm going to grab, because I think it's the easiest one for people to kind of get started into. It's the most party-centric, in my opinion. So if you got people who are used to like Dungeons and Dragons, where you're a party, you're a pack, you're going to go do something, Werewolf lends to that really well, as opposed to like Vampire, where if you're not backstabbing your buddy, you're probably not playing right.
Nice.
So without having to get too much into politics and long-term planning, which Vampire lends very well to, Werewolf is a little more instant gratification. So we're going to start by... No, that is not. I had to buy a new one. My original book, Turk, from college got ruined in one of my moves. And so, unfortunately, Matt left us hanging slow travel. He's lame today. So F's in the chat for Matt. And we'll catch up with him later. But yeah, so we're going to start with some character creation. All of my players should be able to see their sheets in Roll20. If you can't, let me know right now. But I do believe we have those set up.
I just can't see Roll20. That's my only problem.
You're not in Roll20?
It's I got the stream in Roll20. It's not letting me in Roll20.
What?
It's so sad.
Okay, well, if you don't have any way to get a character sheet in front of you, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through character creation. So the first step for character creation per book, of course, is that you have to come up with a concept for your character. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Garou, they're the defenders of the natural world. They defend the spirit known as Gaia, which is the earth. They come from the earth. They're more of a species. They're not like a curse like you think of with werewolves, where they pass it from one another by biting each other, things like that. They're born werewolves. They're raised. They find out they're werewolves. Think more like Teen Wolf, where one day he wakes up, finds out he was a werewolf, his dad's a werewolf. Like, that whole part of his culture, his whole life changes, at that moment he has that first change. And so that's very much kind of in line with how this game works. Only unlike Teen Wolf, where it's humorous, a lot of times this game gets very violent very quickly. So what they want you to do first is come up with a concept. Now, we're probably not going to, for a one-shot, delve very heavily into concept. We're going to go ahead and get more to the nuts and bolts of things. So we're going to start by selecting our attributes. So at the top of your character sheet, the attributes are their own, is that first section at the top, and they're in 3 categories. There's physical attributes, which is strength, dex, and stamina. There is social attributes, which is charisma, manipulation, and appearance. And then there are mental attributes, which are perception, intelligence, and wits. And the way that this works is it's considered every character in the World of Darkness. It doesn't matter if it's werewolf, vampire, changeling, whatever. You get to pick one of those categories to be your primary. So it will get 7 dots. You will notice the first dot in every attribute is already filled in, because you cannot have a 0. You have to have a 1. So what you have to do is decide if you're a physical, social, or mental character, and you get 7, and you get to add 7 dots anywhere you want to in those. Fill them out. 1 being the minimum, 5 being the maximum, and you can go ahead and you can go ahead and fill those out. And once you have your primary done, you'll move to your secondary, and you will get 5 dots to add to the secondary category. So if you picked physical, then your secondary category would be either mental or social. And then 3 for the tertiary. So 7, 5, 3 is how you build.
Okay. Well, I think I got to go physical with my first one, right? Because I just want to fight some shit and start some fires.
Well, there's the way that Werewolf works, and this is a good time to discuss this, is every dice pool, what you do is you build dice pools of D10s. It's a D10 system. You build a dice pool by taking an attribute plus a skill that you'll find down there, or ability that you find down there in the next section, which we're going to fill out next. And you will use those 2 pools to give you a certain number of dice. You then roll and try to get 7 or above. And the numbers of 7s or above you get, that's how many successes you have. That translates to success or failure, and in some cases, how much damage you do. So like, if you're going to be using firearms, it would be dex plus firearms. If you're going to be brawling, it's strength plus brawl. If you're using a weapon, it's strength plus melee most of the time. So the kind of weapons and stuff you want to use, or how you want to do combat, is driven mostly by where you decide to put these dots going in. But they all have some use to them, depending on what you do.
Okay.
Once you get your 7, 5s, and 3s figured out, we move down to those abilities next. And abilities are broken up into 3 categories as well. You have talents, you have skills, and you have knowledges. And they work pretty much the same way that attributes do, except you do not get any initial dots in any of them. They all start out at 0 dots. A talent, the very first column, there is something that is unique to those. Talents are the only ones that can be used untrained. If you don't have any dots in it, you can still attempt anything in a talent. But if you do not have a skill, you do have a knowledge, you cannot attempt to roll. So that sometimes weighs on people when they decide where they want to put their points. But for abilities, again, you get to pick one of those columns and add 13. Your secondary column will be 9, and your tertiary column will be 5.
I think, Dustin, one of the things I liked about it was the freedom of how you could build your dice pools. Like, let's say you were hanging out at a gun club and wanted to get in good with people, a charisma plus firearms might sit there and like up your ability to blend in with the club.
Yeah, with the World of Darkness games, I don't care which one you're talking about, they're all very narrative in the way that you build your dice pools. Whatever the situation calls for, you can take any stat plus any dice pool and come up with a good logical reason why that dice pool can maybe get you through a situation. Like he's saying, just you want to ham it up with some people at a gun show, and your character's at some gun show looking for whatever they're looking for. A charisma plus firearms, and you can just sit around and use that skill of firearms and your charisma and strike up a conversation with an NPC that you need to, have something done with. Those are perfectly cool, acceptable ways that you can utilize these dice pools differently than maybe what you would think of, where they're just like some are combat stats and some are not. So now at step 4, it wants us to take backgrounds. And this is where things start getting a little trickier. I assume everybody's got their skills in place, their abilities.
I'm working on it. You can keep going, though. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, this is where there's going to be a little more explanation to things on this one. So,
okay.
So what happens is at this point, what you basically have done is made your human. You've taken your attributes, your skills, your knowledge, and what you've essentially done is you've kind of created a human in the World of Darkness. If you were making just base template human, that's pretty much how you would do it. They get a couple fewer dots in each one, but that's essentially what you're doing is you make your human. And now what we have to do is we have to start adding backgrounds, and you get 5 points in backgrounds. So
now you might want to remind people about their breed, and that could restrict backgrounds.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna go down a small list of just what some of the backgrounds are. But yes, Some breeds and auspices, and those are foreign words to a lot of people right now who are watching. But we'll cover what those are in just a minute. But essentially, your backgrounds are things that you have obtained in some way, shape, or form up to the point that you start playing your character. So a short list here of backgrounds are things like allies. You can take a dot or two in allies, and those represent people who will do something for you if you need help. Contacts are people who who would give you information. Contact could be a news reporter. An ally might be a cop at the police force. If you want to have a cop ally, things like that. So they're usually your allies, and your contacts are typically your werewolf's way of tangibly dealing with the human world. So they usually are groups and things, whether they're biker gangs or whatever you want them to be. Those are your allies, your contacts. Kinfolk are actually your family members, and not just any old family members, but ones that are still related to the werewolves themselves. Like I said, they're a race, they're a species. So there's always these sort of half-breed people who are related to the werewolves but didn't ever change. And so those people become kinfolk. They're slightly immune to delirium, which is what happens to humans when they see a werewolf in this game. They go nuts in some way, shape, or form, to the point that they don't believe what they saw. Kinfolk are kind of immune to that. So kinfolk are really good to have as just somebody whose family that you can call up to help you bury a body, or you don't have to explain anything to. They can come kind of do some of the dirty work in the human world that you can't necessarily get by with. Fetish is essentially a magical object. It is an object that has a spirit bound into it, and there's a specific list of fetishes here in the book if you're interested in owning a fetish. The spirit inside of it is what gives it its magic. You have to convince a spirit to live inside an item and do your bidding, and that's tricky to make in the game, but you can own one at the start of the game by spending dots in fetish. Mentor is an advisor who would give you help or information sometimes. Past life is literally you lived once before and you have memories from it, and sometimes that gains you information and other such things. Pure breed, your lineage and pedigree are among your people. So if you have dots in pure breed, it's kind of a strange one, but what it essentially does is it's just like a dog. You're pure breed. Oh. So your pedigree's higher. People look up to you. Like, that's kind of a bigger deal in werewolf than what you would think it should be. Resources is money. cash, money, belongings, human wealth. You can take that if you buy resources. Rites are rituals that the werewolves use. They do a lot of real interesting stuff that help create more of what you consider to be werewolf society. They can do everything from talisman dedication, where objects on your body transform into scars or tattoos on you when you shift into Kranos form, so you don't end up with the Incredible Hulk problem of everything being tattered purple pants. Your clothes would just meld into you so that when you come back out of that form, you're not naked. So there's lots of little rites and things like that that they can do that just kind of make their life better, or that are a big part of what makes werewolf society werewolf society. And then a totem. And totem's kind of cool. Totem is one of my favorite backgrounds because what it is, a totem is a spirit that basically is kind of like your mentor and coach in a way. And every dot that your whole pack takes in totem, you can combine together to get a totem for your entire pack. So it's not so much a personal totem, but most of the time, if everybody takes a dot or two in totem, you can get an actual spirit who is kind of your sponsor. And they give you gifts and access to certain powers and stuff that you wouldn't have otherwise. And so those are kind of the backgrounds that you have to choose from. And by book, when you're making your character, you get 5 total dots.
Okay.
The backgrounds is where things get funky, because that's where you have to kind of know a little bit about what you're doing to really spin those. But
So, based off of my attributes and my abilities, it's all strength-based melee, punching shit. What would be a good background to fit?
Well, my personal opinion, you can never. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's skip backgrounds for just a moment.
Okay.
And let's make a few other decisions that'll help inform us who your character is a little bit more.
You can breed, auspice, and tribe.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to the meat of who your character is here a little bit more. So what we need to do at this point is we need to go ahead and figure out what breed you are. So werewolves can be one of 3 breeds. As I said, you're a species, but they're not completely all derived from humans. You can be born a human, known as a homid. You can be born a wolf, known as lupus, or you can be the union of 2 werewolves. And when 2 werewolves mate and have a child together, it's called a metis, and it comes out all shades of deformed and often mentally unstable. So it's one of the major laws of Guru society is that you're not supposed to breed with other werewolves. To keep the werewolf lineage going, you have to breed either amongst wolves or you have to breed amongst humans. So so what we have to do first then, I guess, is figure out what breed you are. Do you want to come from humans? Do you want to come from wolves? Or do you want to be a metis?
I think the other thing to point out with breed too is like when you lose consciousness, this is the form that you will assume. So
that is true.
If basically if you start out as a homid and you get knocked out, then you're just gonna, and you're already a human, you'll just stay a human.
Now, there are 5 forms that every werewolf can take. So it doesn't matter what breed you pick. Every werewolf can turn into a human. Every werewolf can turn into a wolf. And then there are 3 forms in between. There's the Glabro, the Near Man, which is kind of what I think of as the Teen Wolf, like Hollywood werewolf, Wolfman sort of form.
For Lon Chaney.
Yeah, very much like that. And then there's also the Near Wolf, which is called Hispo, and it's essentially a dire wolf. It's just a bigger, meaner version of a wolf. And then there is the most notorious werewolf form, which is the Krynos. The Krynos form is the killing machine form that werewolves flip into when they get just super angry, or if they want to go full battle form. Krynos is what they go to. 8 feet tall, covered in fur, powerful jaws. Like it is the form, but Krynos form incites delirium. If humans see a glabro or a hispo, they will write it off as a really big dog or a really big hairy man. But when they see a Krynos, it breaks their brain, and they have fight or flight reactions on a table, and we determine what happens if they see you in that form. So keeping that in mind, then you can take any form. So then you have to decide which one you were actually born from, though.
I'm gonna go the human one. I forget what
Hamid.
Yeah.
Homid. Hamid. How about you, Baufrin? What are you taking?
I'm going ahead and going with Hamid, just because I imagine if I'm going to get in combat, not trying to break the veil, which I'm sure you'll go into what that is. Yeah. Hamid is a lot easier to be excused than in a type of story that's going on or chronicle.
How about you, Bert?
Same, Hamid.
So we got three Hamids. All right. So when you're after Hamid, then we're going to talk a little bit about auspice. There are 5 auspices, and what auspice is essentially your caste within Werewolf Society, and they all carry a name based on a phase of the moon. So the first is the Ragabash. The Ragabash is the trickster. It's the new moon. They're tricksters and pranksters. They tend to try to keep their comrades' spirits light and keep them from overcoming too much into anger. They try to, if people start to taking things too seriously, the Ragabash will be the one who kind of brings them back down to earth in some ways. They're also the sneaky kind of, they're the spies and sneaks of the group. They're usually much better at lurking and things of that nature. So those are the people who tend to be born under the moon of Ragabash. And whatever auspice you are is, I believe the moon that you had your first change under determined your auspice. So your first change would have happened under a new moon. The next one that you could be is a Therge. And Therge are the spiritual leaders of the Garou. They're the ones who are the most knowledgeable of spirits. They're the ones that understand the Umbra, the spirit world, the best. Most of their gifts and things of that nature deal a lot more with the actual spirits that you can commune with as werewolves. Werewolves are both of this world and the spirit world. They live between worlds, essentially. They can shift from one world to the next, and the Therges are the most adept at doing that sort of stuff. The Half Moon, or Philodox, they are the judges, the keepers of the way, and they're the arbiters. They're the ones who often, when the pack starts to get at each other's throats, it's the Philodox in the group that usually has to keep the peace between them all and try to keep them all in line. They're usually some of the better deal brokers, things of that nature. The Gibbous Moon, or it's the near full moon, it's the waxing moon. Those are essentially your bards. They're your entertainers. They're the ones that tell the stories, that weave the tales of what's gone on. They handle a lot of sometimes they're the ones who handle a lot of the rites that cause you to increase rank, things of that nature in Garou society. And then the full moons are the Aruns, and those are the warriors. Those are the shock troop. The biggest, nastiest ones are usually Aruns.
Chuck, you know what you were thinking about, right?
I already got it written down.
I saved a rune for last because I didn't want to start with the full moon. Then I knew Chuck wouldn't listen to the other options.
That's true. I wouldn't have. True.
So what are you thinking, Baufrin? What are you gonna?
I was thinking Arun initially, but I might change it up. And it is kind of boring to just have a full group of Hamids. I'm usually pretty pro preserving the veil, but I think in this case, maybe we should change my breed into Lupus. Make it harder on people.
Be a wolf.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about this is basically it'll give me a different perspective on scenes that we get involved in, because natively I was raised as a wolf. I wasn't raised as a human. So yeah,
it makes a difference. Like those are the kinds of things when you're role playing, like Lupus Born, they get into a city and they don't know they don't understand what's going on.
Stop peeing on everything.
Yeah.
it's mine. It's all mine.
Bert, what you're still sticking Ahmed? What else are you
I'm gonna go
up?
Ragabash.
Ragabash? All right. So we have a trickster in the group too. So once you have those down, you figured out your breed and your auspice. And there are some other stats that those affect, and they also affect what gifts you get to take. But the last thing that you get to pick is you have to pick a tribe. There are 13 tribes according to second edition, because somewhere along the line, the Stargazers decided to take a walk and join the Beast Courts and left the Garou Nation. So they were my favorite tribe, and then they were like, deuces, we're out. But according to this book, they're still here. So Stargazer is still an option if you should ever be so inclined. Now, when it comes to tribes, there's 13. And to say that they are highly stereotypical is maybe putting it lightly. So when I read down through here, the tribes all hail from certain like ancestral human parts of the world. And a lot of that culture really sticks with them, even though we're technically playing in the 90s and people don't particularly cling to that ancient amount of history in their daily life. For some reason, they decided the Garou do. So everything about the Garou tribes is based and steeped in the mythos of different parts of the world, which is cool in a way, but also like people tend to get too heavy-handed, I think, with how those stereotypes play into their character. So I'm going to read these and just keep that in mind as I go through the list. We're going to start with the Black Furies. The Black Furies are composed almost entirely of women, and they're the servants of the wild and avengers of the Garou. They're essentially a tribe of Amazonian women. I mean, straight out of like Wonder Woman sort of deal. Like that's the Black Furies. The Bone Gnawers, they are street bums. They're the common everyday people living off the street. Most of them probably even by choice, but they're not high society folks, but they're very adept to the cities. The Children of Gaia, they're the most modern of all the tribes, and they're the mediators of the Garou and defenders of humanity. They always kind of get the distinction of being sort of the peacemakers. They're one of the more peaceful tribes of Garou. They try to keep peace between all the other tribes, which is like a full-time job when you hear about some of the rest of these. The Fianna. The Fianna are of Celtic descent, so they're the Scottish. They are extremely proud of their heritage, and they are, again, just completely steeped in everything that is Scottish lore, Celtic lore. Get of Fenris. The Get of Fenris are the most savage and bloodthirsty tribe that there is. They are easily some of the best warriors. They hail from a Norse type mythology. They follow and still refer to things with Thor and Odin, and they're very much from that Nordic part of the world is where they hail from. The Glasswalkers are the ones that have best adapted to city life. They are the more high society, the more technically inclined than their like Bonar brothers. So Glasswalkers are typically the ones that most fluently deal with human city life. The Red Talons are composed entirely of Lupus-born. They don't like Ahmed-borns. They don't let any Ahmed-borns. They won't breed with humans. So therefore, there are no Ahmed-born Red Talons. The Shadow Lords. Now, most of the werewolf community don't engage in Machiavellian-style politics the way that vampires do. They're not out to backstab each other. They're not out for power and political gain. The werewolf world largely works like a very large military. There's ranks. You obey the ranks. You listen to your elders. You respect those underneath you. and everybody lives to see another day. The Shadow Lords are kind of the exception to that rule. They're always power hungry, they're always lurking and scheming, and they're always trying to gain more power for themselves and for their tribe. And so the Shadow Lords are the ones most likely to deal with some of the darker tones of some certain things, and the ones that are more likely to be a little more conniving and backstabbing. They're, however, tremendous leaders, second only to the Silver Fangs. The Silent Striders, these are the Egyptian themed, if you want to call them that, Garou tribe. They're travelers, nomads. They do a lot of traveling. They're one of the better tribes who make really good guides to get through the Umbra because they do so much traveling. So when they want to walk through the spirit world, Silent Striders are phenomenal at finding their way where they need to go. The Silver Fangs are the most prestigious of all the tribes. That's because, for the most part, the Silver Fangs are considered to be the royalty of the Garou. In the American chapters of the Garou, Jonas Albert, or King Albert as he is known, he's the king of the American Silver Fangs and is highly regarded as the king of the American werewolves by large. One of the more famous Garou. And the Silver Fangs in general are the ones that are typically thought of as leadership, and they're fierce rivals with the Shadow Lords. Them and the Shadow Lords do not get along at all. The Silver Fangs kind of have a problem, though, that the only reason they've kept all their titles is from a large amount of inbreeding. And so they often come with a lot of pure breed, and it comes with a lot of other problems. The Stargazers, the tribe that we mentioned that actually left the Garou Nation, they're contemplative, they're wanderers, and they are the werewolves that have developed their own martial art known as Kalendo, where they use their ability to shapeshift to enhance their combat abilities through martial arts. The Uktena hail from the South American regions, so they're based a lot in the South American cultures, the Incas, the Mayans. Like that's sort of where their ancestry comes from originally. The Wendigo then are the more North American Native American Garou that hail from those regions before the white settlers all came over. So that rounds out our tribes. So in the midst of all that, did you hear anything that just speaks to what you believe your character is, Chuck?
Oh yeah, Bonar.
A Bonar.
Absolutely.
Right. Bonars are great. I love Bonars. Baufrin, what are you leaning towards with your lupus?
Initially thinking Bonar because that makes sense to, like, I don't need resources. There are trash cans around. And
yeah.
It really fits me in with Chuck because, then since he's going Hamid, he has a pet dog because what do Bonar look like? Wolfish dogs.
They're wolves, but they're really mangy and small, so they're not as big and burly as a wolf. Bonars typically aren't, so they get confused as regular dogs a lot when they're seen around town. Bert, what are you leaning towards?
Bonar.
There we go.
Bonars. We got all pack of Bonars.
You forgot one of the details about Bonars is they're not all city folks. Some of them are country folk.
Yeah, they can be.
Bonar.
they definitely can be. Like I said, when you pick up like the tribe books and everything else, they lean very heavily into the stereotype. But like then when you read who some of the characters are, they don't really lean into the stereotype that much when you see characters played. But everything, all the art put out for any of those tribes, when you look at it, like it's clearly taken directly from these different cultures. So, like I said, those are Bonar is a fan favorite of some of the guys at Tabletop to Keyboard when we played Bonars, and you're going to meet one of those Bonars because I'm actually stealing a character for tonight's game, so you will get to meet another Bonar here in a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about what your choices that you just made actually give you. So for your breed, if you were an Ahmed, you'll notice down at the bottom of the sheet, you have Rage, Gnosis, and Willpower. Your breed, your auspice, and your tribe determine what those starting attributes are. And one of the things that will annoy people the most when they make a werewolf the first time in a World of Darkness game is that life's not fair. So Ahmed born start the game with one Gnosis. So there's 2 bars there. The top bar is your permanent score. The bottom is your temporary. So you got 1 permanent Gnosis. So you get to fill in that top bar on Gnosis with 1 dot if you're Ahmed. If you were a Metis, you would start with 3. And if you are a Lupus, you would start with 5. Yeah, that's correct. 1, 3, and 5. So Baufrin there, being Lupus born, is going to start with 5 Gnosis. And the rest of you who are Ahmed are only going to start with 1. And that's just, sorry about your luck. That's just how it works. So your Auspice, we had 1 Ragabash, and I believe that was Bert. So he's going to start with 1 Rage. So very similarly, his Rage is 1. The other 2 of you are Arun. If I'm correct, Baufrin, you're still sticking with Arun? You're both Aruns?
Yeah.
Aruns, of course, being the most warrior-like, they get 5 initial Rage. So you can put 5 for your starting Rage. And since you've all decided to be Bone Gnawers, your tribe actually determines what your starting willpower is. So you guys will all have 4 willpower. Bone Gnawers is actually one of the tribes with one of the higher initial willpower scores. So if you were to run a truly power game, this part of the creation, you'd be an Arun Stargazer and a Lupus born, because then you'd be 555. Yep. And since it does require experience points to increase all of those, I've seen a fair number of Arun Stargazer Lupuses in my time. So played one myself, actually. But so those things, those initial pieces of your concept do determine what your starting attributes are down there at the bottom of the page. Your Gnosis will fuel your gifts, and we're going to do gifts here next in a second. Your Rage does a lot of different things for you as a werewolf. It'll help you change shape. It'll help you heal. It'll let you take an extra action in combat. So, Rage is a pretty nice resource, and that's why Arun gets so much of it. Your willpower is something you can spend for automatic successes. So you can burn willpower to gain automatic successes if you don't want to fail. So they all have their certain use, and you might get to see a little bit of it tonight. Now, when you create your concept, when you do your breed, your auspice, and your tribe, each one of those gives you a couple of options for starting gifts. Gifts are powers that your guru have that are specific to you, and you gain them from spirits. And so as you gain ranks, by achieving feats and everything will gain you ranks, you will be able to learn higher level spirit gifts. But at the beginning of the game, you get to choose from 1 for your breed, 1 for your auspice, and 1 for your tribe. So for those of you who are Ahmed born, your beginning gifts are persuasion or smell of man.
What does smell of man do? Just make you not smell like
Smell
a werewolf?
Of man makes it so other werewolves can't tell you're a werewolf.
I'll go with that one.
You wish to smell like a man.
Okay.
So we have 1 Lupus. He gets a choice between heightened senses and leap of the kangaroo.
We will take, I think heightened senses would be a good gift.
For auspice, Bert, what'd you take? Did you go with?
Bash.
Yeah, no, I meant for your breed. What'd you take for your starting gift?
Oh, Hobbit. I took persuasion.
You took persuasion? Okay.
Yeah.
For auspice, for Ragabash, you get blur the milky eye, open seal, or scent of running water.
Yeah, probably Blur the Milky Eye. Gnosis is too slow for the other 2.
Yeah. That is probably true. The other two of you are runes. So you get the beginning gifts of either Razor Claws, Inspiration, or Falling Touch.
What does Falling Touch do?
You knock people down.
You touch them and they fall to the ground.
Yep.
It's the cack-handed grasp of werewolf.
What skill is that based off? Is it a skill like based check?
That's a good question. Let me see if I can find.
Because Razor Claw sounds solid. Falling Touch is great unless it makes me, roll anything other than Brawl, Athletics, or Melee.
Oh. That's the beauty of this game, though, when you think
Razor
about it.
Claws. Falling Touch. System, you have to roll a Dexterity plus Medicine. Difficulty of the opponent's Stamina plus Athletics. Even one success sends the victim to the ground.
Razor Claw.
Okay, so Razor Claws, you spend one rage point, and it takes a turn to scratch his talons over a hard surface such as stone. The claw attacks then do an additional die of damage for the remainder of the scene.
Okay.
So you can prime that one up right before going into combat if you want to. You just have to find something sharp to run your claws over.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll take Falling Touch because who's going to resist a puppy going up for a little sniff?
Shit.
Well
you
played.
distract him with that, I'll sharpen my claws. We got this down.
That's what I'm saying. That we plug in.
So Bone Gnars, you do get a choice of one of two gifts here. You get the gift of cooking, or the gift of Scent of Sweet Honey.
What does Scent of Sweet Honey do?
It makes someone be irresistible to insects. These insects and vermin start to cover
you can make
the target.
Make insects swarm somebody.
Cooking is awesome. You can just
lets you literally just throw anything into a pot and make it edible.
Yes.
Well, cooking is going to be it because most of what we'll probably be finding is inedible.
And then I will take the honey scented.
There you go.
Because who's going to resist a puppy going up for a sniff?
Yeah.
Scent of Sweet Honey. So good.
You give the mange.
Don't you love me?
So getting back to our backgrounds now that you have a little more fleshed out idea of what you're dealing with, again, you get 5 dots to spend in backgrounds. So now you know that you're a human and you're a bone gnar, so wealth is not a big deal to you. The resources, probably not a thing. You can take... I'm getting an echo all of a sudden.
You just got real loud, too.
Yeah.
That was strange. So you could take, I think bone gnars are typically pretty good with things like allies, contacts. They're usually, like I said, kind of in the streets, so they have a tendency to have a lot of street smarts and a lot of knowing people in places, not high places, just places.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. So
okay.
Like I said, you always have the option of taking a fetish if you want to have some sort of spiritually bound item, but they get those rules get a little funky for first time players because fetishes can be really, really powerful, and they can also be hard to comprehend exactly how it all works. Same thing with rights. I think rights is a hard one as a new player sometimes to pick up and run with as well. So,
all right, I can take the contact or whatever.
Yeah, so between your 5 points, you just divvy it up between a contact and ally. And then usually what you do is next to it, you just kind of define what it is. Like, I know somebody who works at the DMV, and if I need a license plate, I can call this guy, he'll look it up for me. Like something like that. Like you just kind of define what your contact is.
Since we're all bone gnawers, think about throwing a point or two into totem as well.
Or
Yeah.
totem. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put 2 into totem and 3 into contact.
Now, we did your gifts. You also start with a certain amount of renown. And down in the corner, you see where renown is on your sheet?
Yep.
There is glory, honor, and wisdom. Those are the 3 values that Guru use to determine the rank of their people. But those are not necessarily all weighted the same. They're weighted differently based on what your auspice is. So if you're in Arun, you start with 2 glory and 1 honor in the upper boxes, the permanent boxes. You don't get any wisdom. If you're a Ragabash, you start with 3 renown in any combination you want, Bert.
Yep.
So it's 2 glory and 2 honor?
It's 2 glory, 1 honor, 0 wisdom. So as you would go through a game session, when you accomplish things, you come back to Werewolf Society, to a place called a Cairn, and you talk to the higher ranking werewolves there than you, and you say, hey, here's the things I've accomplished. And they will give you the right of accomplishment, and you will continue to add temporary dots up, and whenever those fill to 10, they become a permanent dot. So as you gain 10, you come back, you get the right of accomplishment performed on you, and it becomes a permanent dot. And then you can gain ranks. As you gain ranks, you get access to bigger spirit gifts that are more powerful. So these little measly level 1, rank 1 gifts that you just picked, like, they're cool, they do quirky little stuff. You get some potent stuff when you get up to rank 3, rank 4. You start getting into like the heavy hitting spirit powers where werewolves can really do some damage. So that's how Werewolf and the World of Darkness games are based on campaign ideas. They work in a one shot, but a lot of what you're doing is really based around the idea that you're going to be playing the game for quite a while.
Yeah.
So the last thing you have to do is spend some freebie points. Now, freebie points spend a little differently than the points you've already put down on your sheet. So I was trying to see if I can remember what the total is on them, because I got the breakdown here, but I was trying to remember how many you get. Is it, for some reason I want to say 21 freebie points, but that doesn't sound right. Is that right?
No, that's a little high.
Yeah, it's high, isn't it? It's not that high.
Yeah.
It tells me freebie points here, but it didn't say how many, and I was trying to remember. That's the one thing I couldn't remember from.
Yeah, it gives you the amount of stuff you can spend on freebies or freebie costs. And you can also pick up flaws to get more quote freebie points.
Yeah, I wasn't going to worry about merits and flaws today.
No, that's actually pretty good for getting Chuck in.
You think merits and flaws he needs?
Nah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think you made a good call.
For skipping him? Yeah. There's an extensive list of merits and flaws for Werewolf. Some of them do some really cool stuff. What they do is you can get basically, kind of think of them like talents in Zweihander. You basically pick up like a talent, you have like something you can do that like other people can't do. So, and then you can also take flaws that are like drawbacks, essentially, like things that are wrong with you or that have happened to you that give you extra freebie points to spend.
I want to say you generally, from what I remember from vampires, like 5 freebie points or somewhere around that number. I know it might be 7.
15.
Is it 15?
It's 15.
Yeah, well, because they spend 5 for an ability or attribute, 3 for an ability. So I was thinking you had the ability to pick up a couple of attribute points if you wanted to. So the stats at the very top are 5. The abilities are 3. Backgrounds are 1. And you can spend them that way. And then if you want to buy an additional gift, I think there's an allotted cost for those as well, but you can only get rank 1 gifts at this point.
Oh, you can buy Rage, Gnosis, and Willpower as well, though.
And those spend differently. Those spend, is it 1 for 1?
No, it's 1 Rage, 2 for Gnosis, 1 for Willpower.
Okay, it's 2 for Gnosis.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that you'll find is when you get your experience at the end of a session, it's your current rating in Rage, Gnosis, and Willpower that you have to spend in order to increase it. So the people who started out with that 5-5-5 power game, they can't upgrade theirs very quickly, but people who start out with only 1, like you can upgrade to 2 and upgrade to 3 pretty quickly to catch up. But it does cost you experience, which, again, world's just not fair. So as you're figuring that part out real quick, once we have that done, our characters need, of course, a name. And then we're kind of ready to start our adventure.
You said it costs 2 to increase Gnosis. What does it cost to increase Rage?
1.
Just 1?
Yeah, you don't want too much Rage. Well, I mean, you kind of do, you kind of don't. It gets bad if you've got a lot.
Look, Rage, like I said, Rage is the werewolf's drug of choice.
Yeah.
It will make you literally 7 foot tall and bulletproof. But that's a hell of a drug. Like,
okay, I'm all set.
so you're all set. You guys get your freebie points spent.
Yep.
All right. So we are going to take things over to a place I call Liberty City. It's a setting that I use for many of my urban games, including World of Darkness. So Liberty City is just a large, sprawling metropolitan area. It's got some rivers that kind of wind around it. It's got all kinds of factories, docks, dance clubs, university, you name it, you can find it somewhere in Liberty City. Lots of seedy alleyways, which you guys are all familiar with because you're Bonars. There is some more wilderness type parks and stuff on the outskirts of the city. If you were wanting to be more of a country bumpkin, you can come hail from those parts. But downtown at the cathedral is where you would find the Cairn of the Silver Cross. It's an old stone building that's been converted to a Catholic cathedral over time. But in the deeper reaches of this, what would otherwise seem like an old Catholic cathedral, you find that there is a small pool of water where on occasion cloaked-like figures make their way down into the basement, and all sorts of chanting and howling can be heard at certain times of the month. Oh, Chuck is...
Yeah, I did some weird things. I'm coming back.
He put up little pieces of the map up there.
Yeah,
but
not the right ones. Hang on, I'm fixing it. You keep talking.
But so that's where the local Cairn is located, is at the cathedral there in the Middle Island. Not too far away from that cathedral is the Midtown slums, and that's where our adventure is actually going to begin tonight, is down more in the slum area where times are kind of hard. It's the 90s. So things are economically starting to get better, let's just say. We have a war going on there, because that was still a thing then. Many of the same parts of the world. But what you find is that you're dealing with an age where technology is just about to really start booming. The internet is still a relatively new thing. Cell phones are a big deal right now, but they're not smartphones. They didn't do everything that a current phone can do. Automobiles are still your rite of passage for most humans, being able to drive and that independence and getting out there. Rap music is big. We're kind of getting out of the hair bands and into grunge and into things like that. And that's kind of what's going on throughout a lot of these areas. And you guys as Bone Gnawers we'll go ahead, and since you're all Bone Gnawers, we'll say at this point you guys are already an established pack. And you guys can come up with a pack name if you so desire. I had originally given you guys one, but I think I'll let you guys just make up your own on the spot.
We're the Notorious Dumpster Masons.
The Dumpster Masons.
The Notorious
Dumpster Masons. All right, so the Notorious Dumpster Masons, that's the name of the pack. And you guys consider the slum area sort of your guys' turf. So you guys have claimed that area. You're relatively new. You've been assigned by some of the heads of the werewolves down at the cairn of the Silver Cross to take over this area that had been vacated by a lost pack called the Windbreakers.
Of course.
The Windbreakers disappeared. They were some glass walkers who were supposed to come and do some revitalizing of the area. They were going to build it up. They were going to dump some money into the area. And then something happened. A deal had gone wrong. And the Windbreakers have completely gone MIA. They didn't show up at the last moot. They haven't shown up for a while. And everyone's concerned about the Windbreakers.
Of course, man. They're trying to gentrify our neighborhood.
They are a little bit.
I can't believe I missed this. We're the Notorious Dumpster Masons group. That way we have the same initials.
The Notorious Dumpster Masons group. So
not to be confused with the Dumpster Masons, who we're at war with.
Right.
That's right.
Man, we get first pick, yo.
Yeah. All right, so we're concerned about the Windbreakers.
Correct.
I swear my wife has the same fear. All right. So,
go ahead, Chuck.
I was saying dumb things. All right, I'm done. Please continue. Save us.
So you guys are patrolling around through your neighborhood, and everywhere you go, there's all the street lamps, everything. There's always these signs posted up on there with the little tear tags for different services, for this, that, the other. And as you're walking by, for no apparent reason, one of them kind of ruffles up a bit as the wind has blown across it.
Shit, guys, I think we found the Windbreakers.
You look fresh for that.
What's it advertising?
It's advertising a dojo.
Wait, which was the group that had their own martial arts?
Thinking of the
Stargazers.
Okay.
Yep.
Not the glass walkers.
No.
Okay.
Huh. All right, well, tear off one of the little things. Hey, this is kind of not a great neighborhood, yeah?
Yeah, it's not a good neighborhood.
All right, so my guy is a little street savvy, looks around. Who's been tagging up this place? Like, what street gangs are...
Make a perception plus streetwise. So this is going to be our first roll of the night. So he's going to take his perception score of what?
Let me get to my character sheet. I seem to have lost it. Where'd it go? Okay. All right, so I have a perception of 2 plus what?
Your streetwise score.
Streetwise, another 2, so 4.
So he's going to roll 4 d10s, and he's looking for scores of 7 or higher to be successes. If he gets a 10, it counts as a success, and he gets to re-roll it until it doesn't roll a 10 anymore. So, okay, see, look, he's got what, 3 successes? 1 was a 10. Or actually, had 2 successes. 1 was a 10. He re-rolled it because it auto re-rolled that. And you see he's got 3 successes. So with 3 successes, he starts looking around at nearby alleyways, this, that, the other. You see that it bears a tag that you recognize as a stargazer symbol.
Does it belong to a particular pack, or is that too low of a success to know?
It has another marking with it, but you're unfamiliar with the second marking.
I'll take it down, write it down.
Okay.
I'll see it again later.
I yip up at your waist. Take a sniff. I'm lupus. I'm gonna walk around like a dog all the time. I don't have to buy clothes.
Probably got like a breakaway collar and leash just in case, leash laws being what they are.
Right. So yeah, I'll take a sniff.
Okay. And what are you hoping to pick up? You want a scent?
Basically, I just want to see what I can gather off of this because, this is new thing. Maybe I can pick up like some urine trails off some of the other dogs that are around because I took contacts and those are going to be dogs. Most,
contacts are other dogs. Okay.
Yes.
So
I have contacts that are dogs. So I'll know the dogs in our neighborhood.
So let's start with a perception plus animal kin.
All right.
This will just represent you knowing where to sniff to pick up scent.
All right, so that'll be 60-10. And that'll be greater than 7. And exploding. Oh,
you rolled 610. Well played.
I know, right?
It's impressive.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh.
So this is our first official botch of the game. So in the World of Darkness games, a botch occurs. In the last roll where you saw Bert roll, he had a 10, so it exploded. A 1 negates a success. So if you have 1 success and a 1, you get 0 successes. That's not a botch. A botch only occurs when you don't have any successes and you still have a 1 left over. You have now critically failed.
Yep, I believe I know which one's in heat, and I'm looking.
Yeah, so you pick up a scent. It's none of your contacts, but there is, as you said it, there is a female that is in some heat.
Oh, guys. Oh, someone's ready. Now, regular humans will just hear me just kind of yipping and barking and all excited. But you guys actually understand me.
Yeah.
We get you, man.
Oh, I think we got a hot date here.
The Guru speak sort of their own language that can be understood through all the forms. So you have the ability to speak to each other while in Guru form, or as Guru, no matter what form you're in.
Now you see why I played Lupus.
You're pretty sure she's only a block away. Like, it's still pretty fresh.
Guys, this way. I start pulling on Alicia.
I'm not going to argue with this. Let's.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry this went uncomfortable due to a botch.
While he is leading us on, I'm going to be on the lookout for like a payphone. So this little tag that I pulled off the piece of paper, I guess this has a phone number on it.
All right. So as he drags you down the street by the leash, you eventually do come to a payphone because it's the 90s. Those were still things then. You come to one. It's dirty. It's nasty. Who knows what's been done in there, but it works. You pick it up. There's a dial tone.
All right. Yeah. Dial the number. Let's see what we hear.
You dial the number. The phone picks up and you hear a man's voice on the other end. He says, "Shining Star Dojo. How can I help you?"
Interesting. So we speak a language that we can all understand, right?
That's correct.
Right. So in that language, what do they call again? The windbreakers? No, the
Windbreakers, the
are
tribe that disappeared.
martial artists.
yeah. So in that language, I ask where the windbreakers are.
He says, it is good you found my note. Come here to my dojo. I have something I need to show you.
Sure. Take down an address and say, yeah, we'll be a few minutes. Say, got a side task.
I shall be waiting for you.
All right, I have my off-scene interlude in perpetuating the guru species.
All right. You actually, now he jokes about this, but you actually gain honor and wisdom for successfully mating
Oh man.
as a way to gain renown and gain rank in Guru society. So it's not without its fruits. I have to take note. So at the end of the game session, I can make sure you're properly rewarded.
Hey, that dog had papers. That was high class.
Oh man, wait till she gets a load of what her kid may turn into.
That Dotson never saw it coming.
That's right. So it is a legit thing. It's to say that the World of Darkness games have a mature theme to them is an understatement. So,
and that's as far as
yes.
I think I'll ever take it, because that's
yeah.
I think that was tasteful.
Fade to black is how you handle that, right?
Yeah.
And why someone else is doing something more important. So
Yep.
you come back from your thing happy as can be, and you find your Ahmed-born brother standing by a payphone.
Hey man, guess what? The nose knows.
The nose knows.
I'm gonna be insufferable for a while.
That's all we're going to hear about at the next mood.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we got an address. Some shady feller on the other end of this here line says that he has some information for us. He got an address here.
Are we gonna go on the big metal can?
Look at the address. Where is it?
The big dumpster where all the people sit.
It's out at the edge. it's out at the edge of this area. But there is it'd be like 8th Street. It's about 10, 12 blocks away from where you're at.
All right. So still in the same general neighborhood. We're not going to a higher class place, really.
No, he's just out on the edge. He's not.
Okay.
It's not in the center. It's just out on the edge.
All right. Police will respond there.
Potentially.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we're hoofing it.
Yeah. Sorry, no dumpster today. Or no can today. Did we? I don't think we ever actually introduced our characters, right?
You can, yeah. If you
Okay, so I got a great name. I need you all to know it.
I honestly thought that part would come when you got to the dojo.
Then let's do it at the dojo. Fuck.
So,
Yeah, because
If
we know
you've got
each
it-
other.
yeah,
you
we
guys
don't
know
need
each
this
other,
though.
so
Yeah.
you're not going to introduce yourselves to each
Right.
other right now. But when you meet this guy, you'll have a chance to introduce yourself.
I just want you all to know the name I got for this character. You're gonna fucking love.
Excellent. So you guys, you make your way with your dog.
Yeah.
All the way through, down a few blocks. There's people out all the time. Every time you pass by an alley, there's a few of your kind of people huddled around a trash can. They're burning some stuff. They're trying to stay warm. It is a little cool out this time of year. It's in the fall. You make your way down and you eventually get to the address of what looks to be a dojo. Not high class by any stretch of the imagination, but the windows are not broken. The door is in place and on hinges, and it seems to be somewhat of a reputable business.
Oh wow.
And you'll see presented on the Shining Star Dojo is the star that you recognize as the Stargazer logo for the tribe.
So that's not the second symbol isn't there though.
No, you don't see the second symbol on this one.
All right. Well, I guess let's go on up.
Yep.
All right, you walk up there and you turn the handle. The door opens. You walk inside. It's currently just a large empty room. There's weapon racks up on the walls. There's pictures of tournaments. There's trophies. You see several pictures of an Asian American looking man standing there with different pupils holding trophies, little kids that apparently he's instructed over time.
Kids
with different pupils.
Yep.
Like, is he they're whited over? Is he blind or something?
What?
Oh, different pupils is in children.
Yes.
Okay.
Students.
That was just a
So-
dumb part on mine. My bad.
paddings. Let me get paddings.
I don't think there's any actual kids here. There's pictures.
As you're standing there,
I smell them.
the far wall away from you is a large mirror.
Oh, yeah. Mirrors are interesting in Werewolf.
And
Okay.
as you're standing there, it begins to ripple, and you see the man from many of the pictures comes walking, and he stands out there in front of the dojo, standing there in front of you. He looks to be 20 years older than most of the pictures that you see around you.
The mirror rippled and he walked out of the mirror.
He walks out of it.
Okay, but
First
this would
you see
be
yourself, and then it ripples, and you see him step through it.
oh.
And he comes walking out from the other side. It ripples behind him as he steps through and becomes solid once again.
Okay. Would this be, not knowing anything about the werewolf setting, would this be something my character would be familiar with?
You guys are not exactly the most brand new pups in the world. You're rank 1 guru. So
Okay.
you've been around long enough to know that reflective surfaces, reflective water, mirrors are access points that you can use. If you can focus your gnosis well enough, you can access the spirit world through them. They become gateways to
Okay.
the spirit world.
He's like Uncle Bert who could step through the pond.
Yes.
Oh shit,
or
okay.
or like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in a way. Like they walk through the wardrobe and boom, now they're in Narnia. It's kind of that same sort of deal.
Okay.
Like you step through and in you go. So he comes stepping back out, and you see it reforms behind him. You are the new pack. I was informed you'd be coming to the area.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
You know something about the old pack, I take it.
Before the old pack, the Windbreakers ran through these streets. My pack used to run through these streets. But my pack is no more.
What happened to your pack?
One of ours fell to the worm. A Wendigo. Great and powerful. A rune he was. Me and the rest of my pack, we went back in after him. But only my stealth and snowman made it out. Now I am Ronin.
Okay.
I have only this dojo left.
Any thought on what happened to the Windbreakers? Did they get Wendigoed as well?
There were men in suits
Oh, definitely not Wendigo.
come through the area. They were not Glasswalker like the Windbreakers were. They were others.
They smell of plastic and chemicals.
Indeed, they did.
We mean they were other, like just normal people?
Could be.
Okay.
There is one who you will need to seek. He is one of your tribe. My old packmate, Eddie.
Okay. So we got to go visit Eddie. Is this that snowman?
Yes. That is his name given to him upon his rite of passage, Snowman. Eddie resides at the corner of Bristol and 3rd, roughly. Much like yourselves, he wanders. But I believe you'll find him somewhere in that location. He contacted me recently. Told me that he feared something would happen to the Windbreakers. Eddie was always eccentric, always hard to understand. But now it seems the Windbreakers have disappeared. And if there's anyone who would know what's going on in this area, it is Snowman.
Okay. Oh shit! I don't got unless you guys can think of something.
I'm no longer allowed at the cairn. My tribe has been dishonored. We've been cast aside.
So, if one of his pack members was a Wendigo, this guy is old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How long ago did they go missing? Well, you said this at the beginning.
A couple of weeks.
They've been gone. They did not appear at the last moot. That was nearly a month ago, under the last full moon.
So more than a month.
Yeah, a little more than a month, because they didn't arrive at the last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Has anything odd been going on lately, other than just the disappearance of this group?
Yes, but I believe Snowman has the information for you. He has dispatched his brothers.
Okay.
Oh, good enough. Good enough. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Cletus John Gallagher Cooper here. Maybe you heard of me? No? Oh, okay.
I am unfamiliar. And my name, pardon me, I've been communing with the spirits. My name is Seer of the Twilight. I am unfamiliar with human customs. I too was once a wolf.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to give you this here free passes to my next wrestling match, but I guess you don't got much call for that. I'll just leave them here on the table. Maybe some of your students might be interested. Good old fashioned wrestling match.
You wrestle. He picks him up, takes a look at him.
Yeah, Cletus is a jobber. He gets paid to take falls and lots of wrestling matches.
Classic. And he's in Hamid form, right?
Yeah, he is currently.
Okay, so this would be our gig where you need to tell me to get up. So if anyone's looking at us, so we don't break the veil, you tell me to shake, and you give me a treat.
You're inside.
You tell
his
me
dojo.
to say hello. Okay, we're inside. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're inside his dojo, so there's nobody
right.
peeking in there at the moment.
Okay.
All right. Well, you mentioned pupil, so I was like, wait a second.
All right.
I'm going to continue to return to the spirit world and see if I find or turn up any more clues. If you are in need of access to the Umbra, you are welcome to come back here.
Well, we appreciate it. Like I said, that's Cletus. I'm Matthew Jowzam, and our four-legged friend here.
I am Aru.
That's what he gets for not being here. I get to play him tonight.
All right, so you guys have introduced yourselves to the Stargazer, and he turns and walks back into the rippling mirror, having given you the last known location of Snowman Eddie. Awesome. Now you guys can make what would be a good roll for this? Definitely be intelligence plus streetwise.
What's the difficulty? 7?
Yeah, difficulty is just base difficulty is 7.
Ooh, I would get to roll 1 die for that.
Oh, look at that. 4 successes.
There you go.
You have heard the name Snowman Eddie before. He is a bone gnar that used to be of relatively high esteem. He is a former father. He used to be Father Snowman Eddie, which amongst the bone gnar tribe specifically, father and grandfather are titles of like local leadership. So before his pack had fallen, along with Seer, they were once rather high-ranking Garou, and then after this whole tragedy, they were stripped of rank and essentially cast aside. But at the time, he was Father Snowman Eddie, well-known bone gnar, and has since kind of gone under the radar for the last 20 years or more. Used to be real active amongst the homeless populations. Used to do a lot for local people, setting up meals and things for people in the area. But for the last several years, he's gone mostly quiet.
Well, we have last known location, so let's head on over.
There.
Yep.
Last thing that you're told before you leave is, and this is maybe the strangest thing that the Stargazer does before he sends you out. He walks over and he opens up a door on the side of the dojo. It's a little closet. And he reaches into a trash can and he pulls out a pizza box. He walks over to you and he says, "When you find Snowman, you'll need this." And he hands you a pizza box with the grease stain still inside of it, but no pieces of pizza. And on the cover of the pizza box, you see it says Deep State Pizza.
Nice.
Okay.
I sniffed the treasure that was just handed to us as the most valuable thing that it is.
Mm.
Got anchovy.
Oh.
Yeah, you get a good whiff of it. It was definitely with Supreme Pizza, had all kinds of good stuff in it.
There you go.
There was sausage and bacon.
You don't get stains. You don't get grease stains like that from Domino's.
Right?
This is primo. All right. Sure. Grab that and let's head on out.
So you guys do a fair bit more hiking. You're walking through the streets. You hadn't noticed this area of town because you guys aren't originally from this area. This is an area you guys have been given because the other pack has suddenly disappeared. So you're kind of being pushed back over into this area and kind of exploring it out. And as you're walking down through the streets, you start to notice there's a lot more litter around here in the streets than what you would normally expect to find. And not only is there a fair amount more litter, you're starting to see it's kind of a common trend amongst some of the litter. You're starting to see these bright orange cans are being tossed around. You're seeing them in alleys. You're seeing them along the sides of the roads. Plugging up the drains.
I'll snatch up one of those cans. What is it?
You flip the label around and it's a bright orange can of Zing Cola.
Yes. Nice. It's Zing ! Cola.
Yes. Zing ! Cola.
Yes.
So you get this can and you start taking a look at it and you start flipping it around and you notice it kind of like how the Budweiser bottles and everything is. It says it's canned locally.
I'll hold it.
I happen to see like a bottler or something listed on it that begins with a P and maybe ends in an X.
You might. Somebody knows enough werewolf lore that he's jumping ahead in the story.
Oh,
But
no.
yeah, no, you're heading down the right path there, Baufrin. That's exactly where this is going.
Nice.
A little Pentex action.
I figured you would have picked up when I was like, do they smell kind of chemically?
They do smell very chemically.
Okay. Well, I was gonna offer it to Aru to take a good sniff at it to see if he can learn anything.
I slap it out of your hands. That smells awful. Awful. What is that?
Oh, I won't be drinking that then, I guess. Yeah.
You're better with the fire water
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
than drinking that.
So I forget, in general, are werewolves able to sense, or is this just a power or a gift that certain ones have, where they're able to sense the distribution of like Weaver, Wild, and Worm?
Those are gifts.
Those are gifts. Okay.
Since Wild, since Worm are gifts.
Yeah.
I think some of you. No, I don't think you. Actually, none of you guys picked an auspice or breed that had that as an option. So you guys did not have the option for it. But no, if you
But
if
it
you
did
had
take
it,
heightened
you'd be able to
senses,
use
so it's like I can smell the nastiness.
Yeah,
that
you can-
underwriting rot that's to this product if it's, without spoiling.
Okay.
So you notice these are more prevalent. You start to look around when you do see people. You see that there's a lot of people that are slamming them down. It claims to be an energy drink, like a monster.
Mm.
Damn you, Dustin. You're wrong.
All right. Got a little Fomorian action going to go on here, I think. All right,
Oh, no.
let's. Can we skirt past them? Can we go down a different alley that we were going to get to where we
you can
need?
go down a different alley if you want to.
Yeah, let's avoid trouble where we can.
You eventually make your way to the area where you last had been told you'd be able to find Snowman Eddie. It will take a perception streetwise. All right. So you guys do a bit of nosing around, and you come to an alleyway where you see an old Volkswagen Macrobus parked up along the side of an alley. It has no less than 12 parking violation tickets hanging from its windshield wipers.
Oh, it's got to have a boot on it too. Come on. It's gotta have a boot.
Yeah. It's got it all on there. You see some tin foil on some sort of antenna attached up to the top.
Okay.
Matt, is that a boot or a boot? Or are we talking
It's
a boot?
a boot. It's a boot.
Is
wonder
your
what this is all
character
the
also
boot.
Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a Mountie beforehand. That's why he's so
Was a Mountie
physically.
before he came here?
He was a Mountie that moonlit as a lumberjack. That's how I got all these muscles.
Jack.
Nice.
Oh man.
Check it out. Are there any sigils on it? Has it been sprayed up by any locals, anything like that?
It's got Milwaukee license plates on it. Go ahead and give me an occult intelligence occult roll.
All right. So if you have no occult, you can't roll because that is under
Correct.
the knowledge. Yep.
Yeah, it's a knowledge.
Yeah, I have no
So,
idea. Yep.
do any of you take occult?
I initially had it, but I swapped it out for politics.
Okay, well. I will give you.
I've got 1 point in a cult.
Oh,
There you
well, you
go.
can roll.
All right,
Yeah.
you be the one to make the roll then.
I'll sniff at the car at the boot, and where the markings are and all that good stuff. And let's see, that was intelligence occult or perception
Yeah.
occult or
Intelligence occult.
okay.
You could find the markings. It's understanding what they mean. Oh,
I am just full of botches tonight.
you botch. So you try to read it, and you're pretty sure it says something about no children or children at play.
All right.
Something about
windows-
children, maybe?
Are the windows blacked out, or can we see inside?
Oh, they're blacked out.
I'll go knock.
You knock, you hear a rustling inside.
Pizza.
You hear squeaks. Squeak,
Oh
squeak,
shit,
squeak,
we're being
squeak.
raided by you, Dustin.
Oh man, TTKB's here. Those guys must be done playing some World War Z.
Oh snap.
Oh, yeah.
So our three werewolves here, our three Garou, are in search of Snowman Eddie, which some of the guys at TT2KB might remember Snowman Eddie.
Oh snap. So yeah, I'll knock on the door.
So you find
Pizza delivery.
you knock on the door, and you just hear more scurrying and scuttering on the inside, and lots of squeaking.
What kind of squeaking? Like the squeaking of rusty shocks, squeaking of a chew toy.
Give me a perception animal kin.
Oh shit. Perception animal kin. That's just gonna be a 1.
Do it. You got this. Difficulty still 7.
Let's see.
Hey, Pika. Thanks for coming by.
Nope.
Oh, so close. So close. You're not sure what the squeaking is.
Okay.
All right. I'll take my lesson with my heightened senses and my sniffing because, it's been impeccable up to this point.
True.
You have been on fire with your dice rolls tonight, Baufrin. Baufrin has managed to demonstrate how to botch twice in a World of Darkness game in one session so far.
Out of 2 rolls.
Out of 2 rolls. 2 rolls.
Technically, I got 3 botches
Okay.
on 2 rolls. Because the first time I forgot to put the D in for the D10. So, we can call that a botch too.
He botched as a player and then botched twice as a character. So he's on a roll tonight.
All right. So perception animalkin.
Yeah. Perception
All right.
animal kin.
And let's do our 7.
Oh, look at that. 5
Damn.
successes. There we go.
Ooh shit.
So you catch up there, you get up close enough, and the first time you hear it, you know immediately what it is. They're rats. Lots of rats. They're scurrying. Your initial instinct is to try to grab one with your mouth.
Food. I just turned at you because we've had those nights, man. We've had those nights.
I'm not gonna
I'm
turn
just
down a
looking at
rat.
you it's
Yeah.
eat time.
All right.
Hey, Bert. I'll give you a chance. You don't have any occult.
No,
Did you take any Dotson totem?
I did.
Did you define what the totem is?
Well, rat, of course.
You're damn right it is. So as you have this, I will let you go ahead and know this.
Mhm.
That rat is the official totem of the Bonars.
Mhm.
And rats are thus somewhat sacred animals to your people.
Oh no.
You know what?
We wouldn't have eaten rat.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna look around, get an old, just start collecting some trash. Use that food gift to make some nice, nourishing food, and let's feed the rats.
Okay. I'll follow
All right,
suit.
so you see there's a big large dumpster across the alley there from the macrobus. And you walk over and you flip it open to find some food, some garbage that you're going to cook up with your cooking gift. And as you throw up the lid to the dumpster, this old man pops up out of it. Hey, what's going on here?
We're getting a snack.
Is this
Oh.
your pizza box?
Oh, Seer sent you. He reaches out. As he reaches with his left hand, you see it's malformed, and the hand part of it seems to be permanently stuck in Krynos form as this large clawed hand reaches out for the pizza box.
Oh, shit.
He grabs hold of it. He sniffs it. He looks down at the dumpster and he says, "They brought you gifts." He hands it down to an unseen other person or something down in the bottom of the dumpster. He goes, "Quick, before someone sees you, come on in." He holds the lid open and offers you to come into the dumpster with him.
We're going in the dumpster land?
Yeah, it's
Looks like it.
a good
You get
day.
your wish.
Jump.
Yeah.
You hop on up and down into there, and he closes the lid. You get down inside, and everything just reeks, but it's much larger and more spacious in there than what you might expect it to be. And you find yourself surrounded by slightly oversized rats, and they're all scurrying around on top of the pizza box that you brought. They start nibbling at the edges of it.
Have that.
So, Seer sent us because you might know what happened to the windbreakers.
Yes. My children have been nosing around. They've been finding these all over. And you see one of the rats rolls up one of those yellow cans of Zing Cola.
I smack it out of its hand or out of its paws. I'm like, and just like sit there and start hitting my nose.
He picks it up with his Krynos hand, and you see a few drops of it come dropping out of there. He goes, "Stuff reeks of the worm. I tipped off those windbreakers a month ago what was going on. An old warehouse 5-6 blocks from here. Some guys in suits came a few weeks ago. I think they made some sort of purchase. There was paper signed, things, they changed hands, and then they left. Since then, the people have been going down there. They go in, they come back out. Fences are going up around it. I think they converted the warehouse to some sort of production plant."
And the windbreakers going to check this out then? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
They were going to go take care of it because it's in their turf. It's down by the river.
All right. Well, sounds like we're in the same fucking boat. And they just
Well, if we get disappeared like the last group, could you be a little less esoteric next time and, just tell the next group where we went about all this pizza box stuff? What have you been feeding these guys anyway? These big as possums.
They eat whatever they want.
Well, heck, I guess that's a life.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Children of rat can go anywhere. They can eat about anything. They can see about anything. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take one of these cans. I want you to have I didn't catch his name, but the wolf one here.
Oh.
You have him. Aru, yes, Aru. You have him get a good whiff of this stuff. He should be able to sniff out where it's coming from, and you'll probably find your way into that warehouse. And I suspect you'll find out what happened to the Windbreaker tribe there.
Okay.
Why
Well,
you been such a stranger around these parts?
Oh, well. Much like Seer when our packmates fell to the worm. Great shame came upon us. And then me already being born a Metis, I was already somewhat shunned. So our pact dissolved. Seer became Ronin, and I just have dedicated my time to the rat.
Okay.
If
Well,
one of you would be so kind as to pay my parking tickets, I would be greatly appreciated.
how much are they worth?
I don't know. I never took them off the wipers.
That's fair. Well then, let's go. I'll hop out of the dumpster.
You guys hop out, and he closes it down behind you. Here he goes back to talking to his rats.
So now I'm interested. What has he racked up in fines?
he's got about $150 worth of parking tickets on his.
That's a lot in parking tickets.
Like I said, there's about 12, 13 of them up there.
I'll do the best I can for him. I'll nibble on him, like pull off a couple of fleas. That's about the best I can offer in payment.
This is.
I mean,
You said his van's got a boot on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Could I try and force it? Am I that strong?
Well, it depends on what form you're in.
You're in your Ahmed form. You're not.
Do I see any people around?
Not in this dark alley.
Oh, then I go the middle form.
Okay, you want to take your first attempt at shapeshifting?
Yeah.
Oh
right.
boy!
So
You want to try on the big boy pants, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't let me have my special moment. Nah.
You have to roll. How is it? It's a stamina. I'm trying to remember exactly what the roll is for that to make sure I got it right.
It's strength athletics.
Difficulty 6. It's actually on the bottom of the character sheet.
Yeah,
What?
it's a 6. It's a 6 for Krynos form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What pool am I assembling?
But I was trying to look up real fast.
Okay.
Make sure I remember it. Here we go. The many forms. Yeah, it's Stamina Primal Urge. I couldn't think of the name of the skill. I knew it was Stamina. There's a skill called Primal Urge. It's difficulty 6.
All right. So this is going to be 6 dice for me. So that's 6 D10. And then... Oh, shit. It's still never loaded on my Chromebook, but it just loaded up great on my phone. The fuck is that symbol? There it is.
Primal Urge is one of those skills that only appears in Werewolf. You don't find it anywhere else. All right.
Okay.
So, yeah, you've got a 7, a 7, a 6 there. You got 3 successes. You stand there. You summon a bit of anger. You feel yourself getting larger. Your clothes begin to meld into you. Next thing you know, you find yourself standing there, this hulking beast of a wolf.
Yeah.
2 powerful hind legs with a tail and 2 large arms that boost your strength score up to what now? You're a base of what?
My base is 5.
5. So you gain a 4 strength in Krynos form, making you a 9.
All right.
So you are stronger than several men at this point.
There we go.
So strength plus athletics.
Cool.
And you can attempt to remove this boot from the macrobus.
So that's going to be a 14 for me.
14 dice.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got it.
D10 difficulty 7.
Yeah. This is going to be an extended action. It's going to take multiple successes.
Okay.
You're going to need 3 successes to get it. So we'll see if you get it in one go or if you have to keep bending.
7
Holy cow,
successes.
7 successes. So yeah, you reach down, grab hold of that thing, and you just snap the thing right off of there and toss it aside.
There we go. And with the work done, I'll revert back to regular Canadian form.
Well, my friend,
Oh no.
I think you still have to roll to do that.
Oh no.
So another stamina primal urge, difficulty 6 to get yourself back to your
Okay.
Ovid
Or I
form.
believe if he runs out of rage, wouldn't he also would revert?
Well, he's not out of rage. He didn't spend any rage.
Yes. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
He's in a rune. He'd have to spend a lot of rage to get down to zero.
Yeah. True.
And I think that's in a frenzy. When you run out of rage, you
Yeah.
leave frenzy and then you revert back to your standard form automatically.
Yeah. Or just bash him over the head. You could come off the top of the minibus on him and try and knock
There
him
you go.
out. Low bionic elbow action.
I
All
did
right,
get
so you
4
make it.
success to.
So you do with those successes, you're able to shift yourself back to your regular Ahmed form.
There we
Having
fucking
removed
go.
the boot from Eddie's bus.
Cool. Yeah, I tossed them aside and hey, I took care of them tickets for you.
You hear mumbled from the dumpster. Much appreciated.
All right. All right. Let's go get us a drink then.
So you have your can of zinc cola.
Oh, do I have to? I just kind of look up at you in that pathetic puppy face, like, really? Do I have to smell this?
Yeah.
Can I smell some butts somewhere, or like
Butts-
anything but this?
Butts later,
it's-
cans now.
Oh. You owe me a chicken.
You got it.
I think you just named a new cola. Bud Slater.
So you have the gift of heightened senses.
Yeah, yeah, that's why this hurts so much.
So you go ahead and you fire up your gift. You take a good whiff of that, and you can smell the corruption in this drink the moment that you catch a whiff of it. It almost makes you want to rage right there on the spot, but you bite it back for right now. And you start to sniff your way through the streets, and now that you've gotten a good whiff of it, every time the wind blows a bit from the direction of the river, you catch another hint of it again. It is most certainly being produced down along the river.
I start going to, hey, are you going to put the red harness on me?
Yeah. Got to keep up looks.
Yeah.
You get the dog collar harness out for him.
Yeah.
Got your dark glasses? Your dark eyes? Come on, man. I figure this is part of the scam, right? I look cute and adorable at people. We get some cash every once in a while to get stuff that we need.
We need to get us one of them sticks.
Now, do you guys have anything else you want to do before you go check out this warehouse?
How about calling to let someone know what's going on in case we disappear?
Oh, that's not a horrible idea.
Who do you want to contact?
You want to use a talkie box? Why don't you just Yelp?
Whoever would be in charge at the moot right now, that would be, who had assigned us here.
All right, so you get a hold of Father Dunnigan. He's a Children of Gaia. He picks up. Hello?
Yeah. It's the notorious DMGs. Yeah. Just reporting in. We think we know what happened to those windbreakers. I give them the address of wherever the plant is being put up. Some awfully interesting looking cola being produced out here. I'm assured it's got the smell of the worm about it. I look down at my dog. Yeah, we're just letting you know that we're going to go and check it out in case we go missing too.
Well, good luck to you in there.
And how the hell is it that I can spell patchouli over the phone? My goodness.
You're not the only one.
If you fail to return, have it be known that we will conduct the proper rites for your passage.
Thanks.
Find glory, my friend.
Guy has no sense of humor. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
So
man, if we come back in body bags, at least we'll be extolled. Let's get moving,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. To the river.
All right. So you make your way down, following his keen senses of smell. You make your way down to a chain linked fence with a like barbed wire up along the top. You see signs relatively new compared to everything else in the area. So, warning,
hey.
no trespassing. Keep out.
We're used to this. Let's backtrack a block, find the newest sewer lid, and go under.
All
Yeah.
right.
We're going in the caves?
Yeah.
You guys have no problems finding a manhole cover back here at one of the intersections. You drop your way down to the sewers, begin to try to trace your way back.
Yeah.
You don't have to go too far to realize you're relatively in the area. Actually, Baufrin, you would be the one, your heightened senses would probably still be up. So go ahead and you make a perception. We don't probably have science, I would guess. That's probably not a good option for you.
I have survival.
Survival's a good one. Let's do survival.
Okay. And there we go. Three, 5.
2 successes. As you're walking through for these guys, ankle deep, mucky water that's kind of running down here through the sewer areas, you come across a couple pipes that are dumping into it, and you kind of directionally sense that they're coming from that warehouse, and it's just spewing what appears to be chemical byproduct down here into the sewers. And you can see it running past you, and you don't have to be too much of a city planner to know that these sewers are going to go out into the river.
Told you the water smelled funny.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be too much more of a brain surgeon to know that the way that the rivers flow right down past around the corner and down the way a little ways would be where the water refinement plants are that are the city water.
Well, that's fucked up.
All right.
But if you were in the Diet Cola monster drink business, getting people to think that the water tastes like shit would just be par for the course.
True.
So let's follow the waste upstream. I guess that'll lead us
These
to
pipes are far too small.
it.
You can't squeeze through them. They're not full size like sewers. They're just pipes that are running down into it. They look like they've been relatively recently just punched through.
Yeah. Can we find a cover up, hopefully behind the fence area?
No, these are unfortunately going to run through the alleys. The sewers are not going to directly run underneath the building, unfortunately. Now, you have the option of going back to the dojo and trying to come in through the spirit world. But that could be its own different set of dangers.
Was there a thinner veil there? I mean, we can literally do that anywhere that we have reflective
surface. Yep.
Right. You could try to do it anywhere. You got a sense that he did it pretty effortlessly at his dojo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's an option, yeah. Unless we just want to go and knock down a section of fence and charge in.
You know, if you want to do that, I mean, your dark eyes are like pools of water
Could we?
out in the wild. Sometimes on the street, if we need to move, we'll look into each other's eyes because we can see each other in each other's eyes. I blink at you adorably.
That's fantastic.
So were there any other buildings around like the perimeter of this fence that were taller than the fence?
Yeah. There's apartment buildings, stuff nearby. You hadn't noticed it, but as you start to look, they mostly look abandoned.
Yeah.
You see some signs on it that say under new ownership, apartments to be leased soon. Like there's all these signs on them that they're under new management and being re-renovated.
All right. Let's I don't much like taking the direct route in. I mean, they did take out another pack. Maybe they were foolish enough to do that. Let's try the stealth option first.
All right.
Drop
So
in.
Do you guys go back up top?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys come back up out of the manhole, and you take a walk back a couple blocks away again, back down towards the warehouse, and being rather stealthily about it, you make your way up there to the edge, and you see a couple armed guard patrols walking a route along the outside of the warehouse, and they're kind of chatting to each other as they walk by.
Okay. So if they're walking around, we need to wait. Did we go up on the building nearby, or are we just up on the surface level?
I think you're still at the surface level down on the streets.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's actually declared they're going up into a building to get any different look or anything else yet.
Yep. I do want to get that so that we can get a little bit of an overview, see what it looks like from the top.
Okay.
Maybe get a position over the fence.
Are you going to attempt to just go into one of the abandoned buildings then? Make your way up to the top? Okay. Yep. You guys go in and make your way up to the top. They are abandoned. You never quite get the sense that maybe you're not being watched while you're in here. As you get in and you start to look around, you notice there's no renovations going on, even though the signs all clearly say they're being renovated. Mm-hmm. It looks like people who were there maybe left hastily.
Recently?
Yeah.
May have been forced out.
Yeah. Forced out.
Yeah. All right.
You can make your way up to the roof without too much trouble.
Okay.
But you do get a rather uneasy feeling after having been inside the building. But from the top, you do get a nice little vantage point of the place if you want it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what does the guards look like on the inside? We saw a set outside. How about the inside?
Well, it's just chain link. The guards are walking on the inside of the fence. They're just walking around the edge of the warehouse. Right. And you just see there's a couple sets of 2 guards that are just kind of walking around out there on patrols. There's a small little guard shack where they check in every time they make a lap, where there's one other guard station, and he's sitting there watching a small television.
Is that guard shack at an entrance into the fenced area?
It sure is.
Is it
off
just
of one of the other side roads? Yeah.
Okay. Is it just the arms that come down, or is it like the full sliding gates?
It's got the arms that come down.
Okay. Well, if we want to try and sneak in, that would be an option. Where does this fence go clear down to the river? Like, what's its proximity to that?
It runs down to the river banks, and then there's a fence that like runs along the side so that people can't swim like up into it.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Two sets of 2-man guards. That doesn't look too bad.
No.
How about the building inside? There are a lot of lights on, not much lights on. What time of day are we?
It's night at this point. You can see there's a lot of lights on, and there's definitely activity going on inside. It's a large, like 2-story warehouse. You can see down the road a little ways a parking lot with a few rows of vehicles. Clearly there's people who work here. You see a big bright neon sign up there at the top, Zincola. It's got the little logo, kind of flashes. One of the letters kind of flickers a bit because, it's how those damn signs always are.
Yeah.
So is it possible to drop over the building that we're in? Is it high enough that we could drop over the fence?
You're across the street. It's a narrow street. If you got a large enough run and a good enough springing jump, you could definitely clear the fence.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a little bit of a rough landing, but as Guru, nothing you can't handle.
All right. Well, you guys game?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. I guess for the extra juice, I'd like to shift to Glabro form.
It would probably be a wise idea.
Yep.
So go ahead and make me your stamina primal urge.
I have no
DC
primal
7.
urge, but I've got a lot of stamina. Okay. One success, but I got a success.
That's all it takes.
Yep.
One success will get you to Glabro form. As you grow larger and a little bulkier and grow more hair in the beard type region.
Mm-hmm. Would still look relatively human.
But still look relatively human.
I'm going to follow his lead on this.
All right, Chuck.
And that makes this a difficulty 6, right?
7.
7.
7, I'm sorry. Okay.
Glabro and Hispo are harder to turn into because they're half forms.
Okay. One success.
You got one success, so that's all that matters.
All
so
right.
you also make your way into Glabro form. Now, our wolf friend, are you going to stay in wolf form?
No, of course not. I'm going to go to the form that makes sense. Hispo.
Right, so you're going to do the same thing. So stamina primal urge to get you to Hispo form.
Yeah. Oh, of course, I typed it in the wrong window. La-di-da.
And then I guess time it between the guards and make a leap over the fences.
Yeah.
All right, he made it also. So you guys have made it into your forms that you need to. So now it's just a matter of a strength athletics roll. And this is going to be a little higher DC. This is going to be a DC 8 to clear the fence.
Don't forget your bonuses you have for the form, though.
Yeah.
That is correct. So if you're looking at those forms, it'll tell you what your bonus to strength
Should be
is.
12 for Bert and I, and an extra 3 for Baufrin there. So for me, that's going to be a 12. And you said it's an 8 difficulty?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, what was the difficulty?
8.
8.
All right, I cleared it.
Yeah, I got 3 successes.
All right. Baufrin?
Actually, no, I got 1 success. It does not negate the ones. You have to
It's
be
not
careful
negating
about
the
that.
ones on those?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got 1 success.
I'm down at 3 then.
Difficulty 8, right?
Yeah.
Bam.
All right. So you all take off at a little bit of a sprint across the rooftop. You plant your feet however many of those you happen to have to jump, and spring and clear the fence. And let's talk about landing. So let's make ourselves a Dex plus athletics roll to see if you can stick the landing on this thing. I'll actually make the difficulty 1 easier for our friend in Hispo because he has more legs by which to land with.
Or what's the difficulty for the rest of us?
I'm keeping it at 8. His will be 7. His will be standard.
One success.
You got 1.
I got
3.
well,
you got none.
I got none. It's not canceling, yeah.
Baufrin mixes, yeah.
Oh, should we talk about spending willpower for?
That's what we're going to do next. Okay, so you have no successes, Chuck. So you have the option to spend one of your willpower points, which you have 4 of as a bonar.
Yep.
And by spending a willpower point, you can give yourself 1 automatic success.
Well, then I'll spend a single willpower.
All right, then. So you all manage to leap, hit the ground. You do your duck and roll so that you don't break any limbs or get hurt. And the wolf has a much easier time balancing his weight over his powerful Hispo paws and feet. He could have used Leap of the Kangaroo and made this thing real easy on himself, but he decided to do it the hard way with you guys for moral support, I suppose.
Sometimes you just got to roll with the pack, you know.
There you go.
I didn't have Leap of the Kangaroo.
Oh, you didn't take that,
I took
did you?
Falling Touch.
You took Falling Touch. That's right. I'm sorry. I thought you had Leap of the Kangaroo. I'm like, why is he not using Leap of the Kangaroo?
Yeah, otherwise, I just would have been like, I don't even need to change, people.
Nope, you could have just been right on over. So, now that you've cleared the fence and you're inside the perimeter, you did time it. You guys were easily able to time it from where you were to hop on over without the guards initially seeing you. But now it is going to require a bit of stealth to maneuver your way to an entrance where you'll be able to sneak your way in.
I am going to activate one of my gifts, or at least try to. It gives me a little bonus on stealthing. The Blur of the Milky Eye.
All right. So what Blur of the Milky Eye does, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's basically like Predator form. He doesn't exactly vanish, but he's kind of a weird, almost like what's behind him kind of projects in front of him, or he kind of like when you see somebody step in front of a projector and everything that's there is projected on them. So like if he moves enough, you can see him, but otherwise if he stands still enough, he can relatively not be seen.
So I got 0 successes, but I'll spend a willpower to get 1.
Okay.
So that it will give you that bonus.
Yep. He goes ahead and activates this gift and becomes kind of blurry looking. Kind of the brick. He kind of takes on the form of a brick like a chameleon in a way. But every time he moves, he's still somewhat easily seen. Just because of, like I said, almost like how that predator would move across in the same sort of fashion. Sneaks up against the edge of the wall. The rest of you aren't going to have the similar bonuses, but it is going to be Dex plus Stealth.
Okay.
And what is the difficulty for the Dex and Stealth roll?
Standard at this point.
And I think this gives me a 2 shift, makes it 2 easier.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe that is correct.
What is standard difficulty? Is that 7?
7. So he's a 5. Bert's rolling at 5. You guys are at 7.
I'm gonna spend another willpower.
All right. You spend another willpower for an automatic success.
I have 2
I
left.
got 2 successes.
2 successes for Bert.
Bam.
And 4 for the big bad wolf.
Hispo adds to Dex, my friends.
It does. It makes you more dexterous. Them damn forms. So you guys make your way up along the edge of the building, and you eventually make your way up towards where that guard tower is. You see the one guard sitting in there, and he's watching the Tonight Show, which at the time would have been Jay Leno. He's got it on there, watching Jay do some jaywalking, and he's laughing, and he's only kind of half paying attention. And you see the other monitors in the guard shack, and there's monitors you can see just kind of by looking at it. There's monitors there that have cameras in some of the other nearby buildings, including the one you guys might have been in.
Oh. But they didn't sound the alarms or anything.
Other guards might be equally distracted. So should we take this guy out so he doesn't sound alarms if he sees us?
Yeah. Well, the thing is the other guards are checking in with him every round. So that means if we take him out, that puts us on a real short timer.
Looking at the monitors, can we see if there are any dead zones in coverage?
The monitors like kind of flicker to different shots, but it looks like the guard is mostly watching his own TV. He's watching the Tonight Show and seems to be kind of laughing and not particularly taking his job super seriously.
Okay.
Others might be the same. Let's just make a run for it.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
All right. So you guys make your way around to the edge there. Your stealth successes are enough as a group that you're able to slip past the one guard who's not paying much attention. The others are still making their way back around, and you make your way to the employee entrance, if you will, for the warehouse. Just a small single door. The door looks new construction, as though they went and purchased a really nice door and put it in a hole where old shitty door used to be.
Okay.
It says employees only past this point.
Open the door.
You open the door and it takes you into a hallway, and you head down the hallway a little ways, and you can see there's another door down there at the other end.
Is there any kind of window in this door?
There is. There's a small window that has the black crisscross like stripes through it, as though it's
Yeah, the
shatter
security
resistant.
glass, yeah. One of the two of you take a look through this thing.
Yeah, I'll take a quick peek.
You take a peek up through there, and when you look inside, you see a large plant-like layout. There's machine lines running the length of the rest of the building. Large vats, 20, 30 people perhaps in the whole building, maybe 10 to a line, working on each line. And they're just kind of carrying on working, yapping with each other. They're carrying out different tasks. You see some people pushing some carts around with some barrels, that have all sorts of symbols on them. You're not sure they know what even the symbols are, the things they're pushing around.
So if they are making this place any semblance of looking like a real plant, look around for, the little fire escape, so it shows the floor plan.
Sure.
See if we can find some place that goes down. If they're holding the last tribe that came through here, they're not going to be holding it where employees can just bump into them. So I'm figuring down.
Yeah. You can find a stairwell.
All right. Yeah. Try to be stealthy about it, avoiding windows, and head for it.
All right. Well, to get to the stairwell, you will have to walk into the plant. So we're gonna need an extra set of stealth rolls.
All right. Well, my predator thing is still up.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll move slowly, and I'll go across.
This is dexterity again.
Yeah. This is still we'll still say it's dex stealth.
Let's see. 8 difficulty or 7?
It's still 8.
All right.
4 successes.
There's a lot of eyes in the room. Uh-oh. That's a botch.
Yeah.
Yet the huge wolf thing is more stealthy. Huh, go fig.
Listen.
So, do you have another willpower?
Yeah, I do have a couple more willpower. I can go ahead and dump another one.
All right. So you're making your way through this plant, and you're kind of ducking around behind things as workers are coming by, and they're busy yapping with each other. They're like, "Hey, did you hear about Tim at manufacturing over there? He got promoted." Like, "Yeah, I heard Dave's getting promoted too, man. This place is a great place to work. Like the advancement opportunities are fantastic." You hear one other guy's like, "Yeah, it's really awesome that they opened up this new healthcare clinic for us here at the site too. Like, you just go downstairs and get checked up anytime you want."
This all sounds shady as fuck.
Chuck. Yeah, I'm working hard not to like drop too many hints about stuff, man. I am really working hard.
You, as you're walking through, Matt Jowett stubs his toe on this container. And
Matt Jowzam.
What?
Matt Jowzam. I'm
Matt
not using
Jowzam,
his real
yes.
last name.
Yes, Matt Jowzam. He kicks this container and it kind of rolls around a bit. You're like, everything kind of makes a bit of a ringing noise, but you manage to find something else to duck back behind a bit. And as you're back there, you take a look at this container, and you don't know. I doubt any of you have any dots in science.
No.
Oh, actually, hold on. I might have taken one.
Did you take a dot in science?
He had a college education. Nope, I went with law and medicine instead. So,
all right.
no.
So you're not particularly positive what all of the little logos and emblems and everything else on there are, but there is one thing that you see on there that you all three recognize immediately, and that is the Pentex logo on the container.
I do have medicine, so I would know the hazardous chemical symbols and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. You're able to tell that this stuff is incredibly caustic, and incredibly, caustic is really mostly what you're looking at. It's not so much flammable, but it is caustic.
Okay.
All right.
So Chuck, you remember Ed when I asked about a bottling company that begins with a P, ends in X? Yeah.
Now, if you're not familiar, Pentex is a super organization that has a bunch of shell companies underneath it, one of which is Chemicor, the place that you're at right now.
Nice.
The makers of Zing Cola.
All right.
Chemicor is a subsidiary of Pentex Incorporated. As you can see up there on the walls, it's got their new line. It's got pictures of the president and everything, like on the little monitors, like with his little welcome to Chemicor. We're glad you work here. Like all the propaganda bullshit's playing like all day long when these people are working.
Should have told him about the cartoon.
What?
The cartoon that Pentex puts out, where the heroic Fomori squads fight the evil werewolves. That's a regular thing.
Yeah, that's like a whole nother thing. Yeah, but so everything you ever thought about that you ever thought was evil about corporate America is basically Pentex. Like, if they pollute everything, they create super soldiers, all that stuff. Like it's pretty much what Pentex does. So
in this world, they're probably already developing microtransactions in AAA games.
That's right. You nailed it. That's exactly
great.
what Pentex is doing. But they never put all their eggs in one basket. Pentex always divvies it up into
it's good to diversify.
100 200 different businesses at a time, so you can never quite ever get to them all.
Okay.
Right.
Downstairs.
Thanks to your willpower expenditure, make your way down to the basement of Chemicor, where you make your way down. Like I said, you see there is a health clinic listed down there. Free vaccinations, it says.
Okay.
That should make your red flags go off.
Yeah.
Get
Hey,
your flu shot today.
Can you see if you can smell the if there's any lingering hint of the glasswalkers through here?
Did anyone ever produce something for me that had their scent on it?
Well, they're going to smell like a werewolf. I don't know. Actually, maybe not. That's actually true. They may not.
Yeah, there are other things that smell like werewolves too. They begin with a B and they end with an S. The initials could be BSDs.
It's BSD.
Yes.
Right.
So you make your way down. Like I said, you see the free clinic there. You can make your way past the clinic down a hallway if you so desire. I assume none of you are stopping for the free vaccinations.
No.
No, I'll pass. It was bad enough when someone tried to give me a heartworm medication. Matt.
Hey, like those things are crawling out the back door.
So you see another set of double doors down near the end of the hallway. These look more like supply double doors. The larger, heavier type doors. No windows on this one. And it says, of course, again, like restricted personnel only, hazardous chemicals beyond this point.
Well, that's the door we got to go through.
Well, if that's not an invitation.
Yeah.
All right. You guys make your way over to that set of doors. You can put your ear up to it, and on the other side, you hear muffled talking.
Make anything out?
No, not through the door. You just can tell there's people in there.
Let's go in and start punching.
Just gonna kick down the door?
Or open it.
All right. You go ahead and you gotta do this stealthily or
no?
All right then. So you fling open the door, and what you see inside is a large set of vats that have various caustic chemicals, looks like cooking in them. It looks like a research facility. You see people in white coats who all stop and turn, and you see subjects that are laying on tables. And you see up in the corner like a computer-like screen with a series of computer towers, and up there on the computer screen it says new formula Diet Zing Cola.
That's great. I'm just gonna
take him out.
Do a running spirit, the first one I see.
Let's start with a Dex plus wits. It's 2 attributes. A D10. You don't roll those dice individually. It's your Dex plus wits plus a D10 for initiative.
Oh, that's just a 2.
Well, for me.
Okay. I got a 5.
Wait, he said your Dex plus wits plus a D10.
Yes.
You don't have any dexterity?
I know, I have 2 for dexterity.
Okay, so that's 2d10. And for your wits?
Okay. I don't have anything in wits.
So you got 1
point. Oh, no,
then.
I do have shit wits. I'm sorry.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I promise you do. You have at least 1 point.
You have at least
one. All right. I thought it was... All right. I misinterpreted. All right. This is going to be 6d10 for me then.
It's just those 2 added together and a single D10 roll.
Yeah, it's a single D10 roll plus those 2 stats.
Oh, shit. All right. I misinterpreted again. All right.
10s explode still?
Yeah, if it happens.
Yep. Mean like that? That it didn't. I wish.
Okay.
That's close.
13.
I'm at a 12.
Oh crap! So, wait, I thought we were building a dice pool for this. Oh,
No, it's just
No.
a single
This is just
D10.
initiative.
single
This is
D10.
just-
Okay.
This is a single D10 plus your Dex and Wit score.
Yeah, so we used to do wits plus alertness as a die pool and like number of successes. Yeah, all right. That may be getting me slightly confused. All right, so
So
5, 6.
6. Okay, so Chuck, you are first in initiative.
Okay. Yeah, I just spear, like Batista spear the closest dude.
You're gonna catch one of the white coats.
Yes. I didn't see any guards or anything, did I?
You didn't notice any at the moment.
Well, then I'll go for one of the white coats.
All right, so you bust into the room, run over to the nearest table where there's 2 people with white coats on that are working on this one subject, and just grab the first one with a strength brawl.
All right.
So form your strength brawl pool.
Yep. All right. Oh, and I'm in the... No, that gives athletics, doesn't it? That's fine.
Yeah, you're actually brawling.
What's the difficulty on this?
Standard 7.
That would be 2 successes.
All right, you have 2 successes. They are going to attempt to dodge, so they are going to roll. Where'd my dice pools go? They only have 1. Nope, 0 successes. They do not. You have successfully grabbed a hold of them.
Cool.
They try to turn and move out of the way, but you are too quick and too strong. You just grab hold of them, and you have one officially grappled.
Nice.
So that'll bring us to Bert.
The people that are strapped down, do they seem to be struggling?
No.
Not a good sign. Are there any more scientists still around?
Yeah.
All right. I will try.
There's three tables with someone strapped down, and there's 2 white coats per table.
Okay, I'll go after 2 from the other one. Do something similar and just try to ram them both.
You're gonna try to hit both of them?
Yeah.
All right. So he just grabbed one. The other one's still standing there at Chuck's table.
Yeah, I'm basically, since I'm a larger guy in this forum, I'm basically just trying to rush forward, leap, and just hit them both and take them both down.
Okay, so let's take your strength brawl and let's split into 2 dice pools.
Yep.
1 for each. So this is something you can do in World of Darkness games. We haven't really discussed it yet, but you can split dice pools for multiple actions in the same turn. Or you can spend a rage.
All right, so I
2
have
full dice pools.
I have a pool of 9, so I'm going to go 5 and 4.
Right, which makes it 4 and 3 because
Right.
you subtract 1 once you split from each
Sure.
pool. So it reduces your total number of dice, but it does give you a chance to actually take out both opponents.
2 successes on 1. Nil on the other, but I'll spend a willpower, so I'll have 2 successes on 1 success on the other.
All right. So both of mine will take their 3d10 attempts to dodge you. Nope. 1 success. You get one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The first one you get clotheslined pretty well and taken to the ground. The other one you strike them, not hard enough to do any actual damage to them, but you lose your grip as you try to grab them to take them to the ground also.
Okay.
And they kind of spin away from you, and your kind of glabro clawed hand just kind of rakes across their coat and just kind of puts some slash marks through the back of their coat. And that'll bring us to enemy's turn. So the first person with the white coat that got away from Chuck, they take off running over towards a corner where you see a large, like, alarm button. They run over, hit the button, and things start alarming.
Well, that's bad.
The second one that you have hold of is going to strength brawl, like try to elbow you in the face.
You can try.
Two 10s and a 9.
He did.
Let's re-roll those two 10s. Okay, so that's 2 successes to strike you. So you've already spent your dice pools. You ain't got anything left. Let's go ahead and there's strength 2. You take 1 bashing damage to the face from an elbow.
Now you can soak that though, right? Because
Yes.
it's just regular damage.
So you can, it's just regular bashing damage. So you can now attempt a stamina DC 6.
All right.
Since you don't have anything left to try to dodge or anything with, you use your full pool.
Okay. So what do I roll here?
You roll
All right.
your stamina.
Remember, you were in Galabro, right?
And in Glabro, I think you get a +1. One
Plus 2.
dice.
+2.
Or 2. It's 2 in Glabro? Okay.
Yep.
So you're at +2 stamina from whatever your base is. You roll that many dice, difficulty 6, and that's how many damage you soak.
None.
Yeah, none. So you take 1 bashing damage to the face.
Okay.
So when there's 3 kinds of damage in World of Darkness. There's bashing damage, lethal damage, and aggravated damage. Most of your punch, kick stuff just does bashing damage, which is what you're finding here. A werewolf heals 1 bashing every round.
Okay.
With some exertion, you can manage to heal 1 lethal a round, but you have to make like a rage roll, and you can like try to heal. Aggravated damage, that stuff doesn't go away very easily.
Okay.
Those are the wounds that suck. Silver causes aggravated. Claws and teeth of other supernaturals cause aggravated. Fire, caustic acids are aggravated. The really nasty stuff is aggravated damage. That's what will actually kill a werewolf. Everything else you recover in a few minutes from, for the most part. So this is just enough to make you angry. So you get flacked in the face. And the first time somebody strikes you in werewolf, yeah, it's when werewolves have to start checking their anger. So you have to make a rage roll.
Okay. How do I do that?
You take how many dots you have in rage, and you roll them at difficulty 7.
Okay.
You're a success. Oh, no, you're not.
No, I failed.
Oh, you're not.
No, difficulty 7. I have 3 success. Yeah, to counteract. Yeah, no successes.
That's amazing, Chuck. So you have no successes. So would you like to spend a willpower point?
Did that 10 explode?
It did. If
It
you
did.
count the dice.
If you count the dice, it re-rolled it already.
Oh, it did? Okay. Never
Yeah.
mind. All right, continue on.
All right. So you after getting thwapped right in the nose by an elbow, you start to find yourself beginning to lose control. Now, you feel the anger swell up inside you. You're already mad that they're polluting the river. You're already mad that this place is full of caustic chemicals. You're not real thrilled about anything going on here. But if you spend a willpower point, you will not turn into a giant Krenos and start to rip these people apart.
I'm good.
Okay, so your next immediate action, you spend a rage and you will become a Krynos werewolf. So you're currently in Glabro. You're kind of a big bulky human. This white coat scientist person just elbows you in the face and you just get big furry and now you're just super angry.
Nice. Okay.
Now remember your stat adjustments for that.
Okay.
Just got even meaner. So
All right.
the other white coats that are currently not tackled to the ground by Bert take off running. And
Now are they going? Oh yeah, they're going before me.
yeah, they're going before you. So they all take off running to the corners, trying to find their way out. And you hear some rustling upstairs. Well, not upstairs, but from a nearby door. As it sounds like there's security starting to make their way into the room. And that will bring us to your turn, Baufrin.
All right, just to put some control on this, I'm gonna step in the room, try some intimidation. You know what? That might not work out too well. Screw it. Are there any pairs close together, or relatively close?
Any what?
Scientists? Any pairs of scientists, or have they any flocked anywhere?
Yeah, the two that were at the third table that no one's assaulted yet, they kind of both like kind of close to each other, like run over towards one of the corners where they're trying to take some cover.
All right, I will approach into that corner. Since I'm not in my adorable form, I just stand up at him and just raise my hackles and just look really mean.
Just going for straight up intimidation.
Yeah.
All right. Make an appearance plus intimidation roll.
All right.
Actually, your appearance is gonna be like 0 because you're in Hispo form, right?
Yeah, I'm in Hispo.
So we'll make it charisma. We'll make it charisma.
Okay. All right. So that'll be 2, 3, 5. Difficulty will be, what do you think? 7, 8?
7.
All right. Bam.
Yeah, so you kind of growl at them and get big and mean, and they immediately stop and they take off, kind of running away from you a different direction. Like they're definitely trying to get away from you as best they can, screaming.
I figure since they're out in the corner, I'm putting myself. They have to sit there.
Oh, I thought you beat them to the corner.
Into that corner.
I thought you were trying to cut them off.
I'm trying to lock them into the corner.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely cowered down in the corner, like they're half afraid that they're like grabbing whatever things they can find and just kind of haphazardly throwing them your direction.
All right.
No, yeah, you definitely got them. You got those two cornered if you want to keep them there.
I'll give everyone else time to deal with everything else.
So Chuck,
I say
we're back up to your turn, Chuck.
I'm gonna angry claw the scientist that elbowed me.
So you've already got them in your arms.
Yeah.
And as a 7 foot tall Krynos, you don't even have to let them go. You could just bite their head off, Chuck.
Well, then I'm gonna do that.
You have this giant gaping wolf maw full of razor sharp teeth, and you're angry. I mean, you've already got them held. You've already got the hard part done.
Just tops right off.
Make that strength brawl and just bite them.
Strength brawl for me is going to be
a crap ton of dice is what it is.
It's going to be 14.
Yeah, it's a lot.
What's our difficulty?
It's I think bite is a 5. I think it's like the easiest maneuver to do.
All right, I'm rolling it at 5. That's going to be 8 successes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. Here we are. Bite. Yeah, difficulty 5, strength +1.
Oh. So I could have
you
rolled
actually
another.
get 1 extra die on there.
That's okay.
But yeah, you got a lot.
Yeah.
Attempt to block instead of dodge. Yeah, no, that's not going to really work for them. It is lethal. They are humans. They do not get to soak lethal. So your strength plus, damage is strength +1. So now that you have successfully struck, roll your strength +1.
So that's just my 5. Well, I guess now it's 9 strength die.
+1, so 10.
Oh wait, didn't he take the gift for the claw thing?
Yeah, but I didn't
you
activate
didn't
it.
sharpen
He hasn't sharpened them yet.
All right, so that's going to be rolling 10d10.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Knock 3 of those down. Just 1 success. Difficulty
right, so
was 6 or 7.
So you chomp down right on the shoulder of this. You just chomp down right into their shoulder. Oh, did my internet freeze? It froze for a second. It's back. You chomp right down into them. You feel your teeth sink in. You get the taste of human blood. This person just screams in horror. This person is completely not getting away.
Good.
Actually, he's in Krynos form now, right? So
Yeah.
these people be freaking
Yeah,
out.
delirium check.
Yeah.
There we go.
On their turn, delirium is about to happen on their turn. We're just not to it yet.
Okay.
You guys have actions first. So, Bert, it is your turn.
All right. Is there a lot of equipment in here?
Yes, there's a lot of equipment in here.
All right. There's sirens going on. There's backup coming. I think I want to go full Krynos and just mess this place up.
That stamina primal urge.
Yeah. Let's see. 6. And it's what? Difficulty 6. 3 successes.
Yeah, you explode into Krynos form as well. You still have your wits about you, unlike your frenzied counterpart over there, who's now trying to eat some poor lady in a white coat.
Yup.
So I will just, wreck the place.
Bad Matt. I will roll up a newspaper and hit you in the snout.
You know what? I regret nothing.
Canada's supposed to be friendly.
All right. So for delirium here, I need willpower. Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. It's been a while since I've used the delirium chart. Yeah, let's see. These are people are willpower 3. So they have disbelief. The person refuses to accept the reality of the guru, attributing the wolf man to stress, neurosis, hallucinogens, or the like. This just ain't happening, man. I must be going insane, giggles hysterically. No way, man. You ain't real. Stay back. So that is what you're getting from them at the moment. Like, just utter disbelief in what they're seeing. Now, the one who's getting bit is not disbelieving.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to deny that. Yeah,
this feels pretty damn real.
Everyone else is like it's almost like one of them is like, God damn it, Todd. If this is some kind of a prank, Todd, this is not funny. And they're like beating on the door, trying to get out. Like,
this isn't Todd.
You see the 3 on the table, the vats. on this turn, because it's their initiative, you hear the vats kind of make a whoosh sound, and you see that there's like machines and stuff that are hooked to these 3 volunteers that are on these tables, and you see them start to swell.
Okay, so the vats are swelling.
The people.
Oh,
The three that are laying on the tables that the scientists were working on. You see stuff from the vats starting to get pumped in, and you see them start to swell. Their skin starts to change color.
worst water balloons ever.
No.
And it is Baufrin's turn.
All right. Let's see. I have those 2 who were intimidated. Have they been affected by the 2 instances of Krynos?
They're the same willpower, so they fall under the same category of disbelief.
Okay.
There's
All
not
right.
a roll. It's just whatever their willpower is determines how they react. So,
all right. But at this point, they're still more intimidated by me since they're in disbelief mode still left.
yeah. They're
Okay.
They're barely looking up that direction. As like I said, they're cowered in the corner.
All right. I'll bark at them, but be actually saying, guys, remember the eyes. The remembering eyes.
What?
I think Dustin knows what I'm talking about. The eyes that remember.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I think I'm being fair and like saying that as a lupus.
Yep.
Yep. I'm warning him.
Yep.
Yep.
Are you taking any other actions?
I'm gonna hold until basically I'm just wind up holding it. I'm gonna keep these guys from getting engaged. If they start coming out and doing
Okay.
other things, then I will respond and start attacking them. But if they're not gonna do anything, I am happy to keep them out of the situation.
All right. So you keep those 2 cowered over in the corner, and we'll check back in with Chuck.
Oh, lady's still kicking, right?
She's struggling, but she is hopeless to get out of your grasp.
Well, I can't stop until she's not struggling.
That would be correct.
So I'm going to take another big old bite. That is 7 successes.
So roll your 10 dice for damage.
What's the is it still 5 difficulty on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's always 6 for damage.
Always 6 for damage.
5 successes. Okay. So this time, the first time you got a bite in on the shoulder. The second time, you come back in and you cleave clear through the chest cavity.
Oh yeah.
Your upper and your bottom jaws meet together, and right between the chest, and you get as you rip up her aorta, and her heart is just hanging from your mouth,
Juicy.
and the rest of her just falls almost in twain from where you've snapped down.
I'll
White coat and everything just hanging from your jaw.
Yeah. I'll drop her, and then do I have movement to at least move over to the person who pushed the alarm?
Yeah, you can run over to the next one.
Okay, yeah, I'll run over to the next one then.
The guy is just standing there with his glasses and his pocket protector, and he pulls out a can of something.
Oh no.
He's like aiming at your direction, like he's gonna mace you with it.
Oh no.
Right. I'm ignoring him, and I'm just going to start wrecking the place. Start with the vats, just destroy everything.
All right. So you go over and how do you want to just try to disable the legs on one of the vats to get it to spill?
just wrench them off so that they spill.
All right. So that would be Strength. That's a good one to put with that.
While he's doing that, Chuck, just think about this. Eyes that remember. What would that be to a lupus?
Cameras? I don't fucking know.
And,
Okay.
Right. I see. And eyes that remember would be.
I don't know, man. What do we
To
got?
make it easy, Dustin, and how about brawl as I just kind of ram myself into it?
Yeah. I was trying to see if I thought there was anything that would be more like a disabled device. But yeah, brawl's fine. We'll just go with brawl.
Think about the time periods, the 90s. So
7.
cameras.
Also-
What are ways you eyes that remember?
Like
Well, I hope
riddles.
if we wreck enough stuff, all the recording will be gone. So
There,
Yeah,
see?
okay.
He got it. He
Okay.
got it. I knew Dustin did
I
already.
knew where you were going with it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the very last thing you do in any werewolf game is you go around and collect all the VHS tapes back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The
eyes
last
that
thing you do
remember.
in every werewolf game, and it never fails.
the eyes that remember.
Okay.
see the 7 target.
Yeah. 7 target.
6,
Six successes.
4 successes. I got 2 ones.
Yeah,
in
that's
there.
right. Because it's got to subtract those two out. So you run over and you grab a leg of this fat, and you just rip the thing up, and the bolts pop out of the concrete. And it just pops up, and the weight of all the chemical in there, it begins to topple down towards your direction, which is headed towards you and Baufrin both with this vat of chemicals. So it's going to come crashing down.
Oh, 4 successes. I can't direct that a little bit better.
Well,
So-
it's a pretty good sized vats.
All right.
So whichever leg you pull out, that's where the direction it's going to go. Unless you want to try to make some sort of strength athletics to literally push it over the other direction.
I can do that.
So we'll let you spend a rage to get an extra action,
11.
and
Okay,
after you rip it up, I'll let you then try to tip it back the other direction if you.
same
you can make
difficulty.
This thing is extremely heavy.
All right. Yeah.
So let's go with DC 8, difficulty 8.
Okay. 2
2
successes.
successes. All right. So you're able to hold this thing up, and you're pushing it, and it's starting to spill off on the other side. Next round, you can make one more attempt, and you'll be able to push this thing the rest of the way and keep it from falling back your direction.
Sure.
So enemy's turn. So the guy who pulls out this can, he takes it and shakes it up real quick, and he sprays it up in your direction, Chuck. And you catch it. Oh, a nose full of this stuff.
Oh man.
And I'm going to need you to make a stamina. Just a straight up stamina roll,
Okay.
which you got a bonuses for being a Krynos.
Yeah, I get +3 on that. So this will be, what's our difficulty?
It's DC 7.
All right. That's going to give me 2 successes.
All right. You get a whiff in the face of this thing, and you can't read what's on the canister, but it is the most pungent smell. It's not a pepper spray. No. It's worse than a pepper spray. This thing is just nasty. It stings so bad, you gain 1 rage back.
Ooh. I was still at max. So
So you hadn't spent 1, so you
Yeah.
hadn't gained 1. But you would have if you had.
Okay.
If you had lost 1, you would have gained a rage just from the stinging that this thing does as it hits your snout.
Okay.
And you catch a faint whiff that this stuff is. It smells like fur.
That's weird. Okay.
So you go ahead and it obviously has no effect on you. You passed your stamina roll. So that is his action. The other two in the corner continue to just lob things haphazardly at the big wolf, hoping they don't get eaten. The three on the table, they begin to bust through their restraints. And as they get up, you notice that they're incredibly malformed looking. Their eyes are starting to glow red. They're getting an extra tentacle-like appendage that starts to grow out of their back.
Okay.
And that'll take us to Baufrin.
Oh, I want to use the F word about them.
You can call them that. You know what they are. You've heard of them. If you've never seen one, you've at least heard of it.
Fomori.
Okay.
Oh.
They got one big eye.
Fomori are
various
mutated
forms.
humans. That
Yep.
Pentex mutates humans and turns them into killing machines capable of fighting their nemesis, the werewolves.
Yep.
Or sometimes vampires or anything else that gets in Pentex's way.
Okay.
Yep. Whatever Pentex doesn't like at the moment. All right. So, what's the call? We gacking these people or what?
I would vote for it, but I also would.
You're frenzied.
Yeah.
So are you
You're
yelling
gacking
kill,
whether you
kill,
like it or
kill?
not.
Yeah.
He's not even capable of tangible thought at the moment. Although I should quickly, you tend to take a willpower roll to regain composure because the woman who punted you in the nose with her elbow is dead. Once your rage is dead, you do have the ability to rein it back in if you can make a willpower roll.
Okay.
DC 7. So
Okay.
So you'd roll your current willpower pool.
your current willpower, yeah, not your max. You
Yep.
spent some, so
I got one left. Shit. Oh, I did.
you make it. So when you walk over to this guy, you're still in Krynos form.
Yeah.
But you're no longer frenzied. You are capable of your own actions at this point.
Okay.
So it is Baufrin's turn, however.
Yep. I yell Fomori. And, I state my bit about, are we wiping everything out in this room?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I will spend a rage. I am going to lunge at one with a jaw to take out the throat, and the other is hopefully if I finish that one on this round, then my rage round will be on the second scientist that's in that corner I got back in.
You're killing the scientist first? Where are you going for?
They're already they're already scared. That doesn't make wolf sense. They're not a threat. The stuff on the table is. So we're gonna get one of the table thing, or go for a table thing.
All right.
Yeah. All right. That makes more sense.
I mean, if you're just gonna let the Fomori get free actions in combat next round, I was gonna be impressed, but
I got big cojones. Already showed those to a lady tonight. We don't need to go any.
Hey,
I don't think
you can't die in here. You may have a kid on the way.
That's right. I have a duty.
He has a duty to get back alive.
I might have a child.
You might be a dad.
Of what? 4 or 5 puppies?
Whole litter. You got 4 dots and kinfolk now.
Oh, damn it. Consequences, man. Consequences.
All right, so you're
All
gonna
right.
pick the first of the 3 for Maury.
Yep. And we're gonna go for a bite attack for that. So strength brawl.
That's correct.
Oh,
Difficulty
right.
5. Bites are easy. Strength +1 damage if you make it.
5 or yeah. Oh no, that's actually 6 and 8. 10. Greater than 5. Exploding.
Holy cow. 1, 2, 3. Holy. Okay, yeah, you.
Damn.
This Maury's gonna try to block. This is almost a waste of my time here, but we're gonna try it. Yeah, only block 2, so it still goes through. So strength +1.
Oh, wait a second. That didn't re-roll the 10s because that was 8d10 I was rolling.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for brawl maneuvers.
No.
Brawl maneuvers, you don't add successes to damage. If it was firearms or melee,
Oh, that's right.
it'd be a different story. We'd be adding all those successes to damage, and that would be nasty.
I know.
But brawl is just the brawl maneuver is the brawl.
All right, so damage is going to be strength +1 because it's a bite.
It's a bite, correct?
Or +1 die. So
And from your actually, you get an extra one for Hispo. Doesn't Hispo get a +2 to bite?
No, I'm looking at the sheet right now, not the second edition sheet.
Hispo gains +1 bite damage.
Yep, so it's +1.
And the bite maneuver is already strength +1, so that makes it strength +2.
7. Oh, okay. Strength +2. Jeez. All right, so strength is at 6 currently, and so that would be 8 dice.
8 dice. DC 6.
Man, these bites are just OP, and it's ag.
Yeah, it's ag. I mean, he's a Fomori. He can soak, but he ain't.
Yeah, no,
good luck.
It's so 5 successes.
Yeah. He soaks 2, takes 3. Nope, he gets to reroll a 10. Hold on, maybe one more. Nope, soaks 2, takes 3.
All right, rage round, same thing.
All right, so yeah, you spend your rage, take your second attack.
Five successes to hit, and it's the same roll for damage, basically. Oh,
yeah. Yep.
3 successes.
He still gets his 4 soak dice. Two. So, yep, another one. All right, now you can't see the health chart, but if you look at your health chart on your sheet, you'll see where it shows bruised. I think it does. I think it's bruised, and then like injured or hurt, and then injured, and then mauled. He's down to mauled, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is a -3. That in front of me. That in front of me. Yeah, mauled's -2. Yeah, it's hurt, injured, wounded, mauled, crippled. Those minuses that you see next to those, if you mark off the health box next to it, that is the -2 the number of dice you have for all dice pools for all of those rolls. So anything you do is that. So he's currently at a -2 to anything he does from here on out, except for soak. You never lose your soak dice.
Yep.
So you chomp through him pretty good. He is pretty injured. And that'll take us to Chuck.
Well, yeah, I was going to rip this scientist to shreds, but now with some new assholes up and about, I think I might shift focus to them.
All right.
And I'll make a little dash over to the one that Aru just bit on. And do I need to have him? Can I just run up and bite him? Or
Yeah.
yeah, then I'm going to run up and bite him.
If I could make one suggestion for you,
Yeah.
you're forgetting your gift.
The sharp claws?
Yep, you need to rake it against something. So it's like he would tell us, is there like a stone or tile floor in here? Or
there's metal railings. There's large metal vats with chemicals in it. Any of that works.
Okay.
And
is that just like an action to do it?
Yep.
Okay.
You spend a gnosis point and your claws become like super freaking sharp.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll spend that gnosis point, run up to him, and then use a rage point to
there you go.
make an attack.
You spend your first rage point and you make your attack.
All right. What did that sharp claws? Does it add one dice to damage?
I was looking it up to be sure. I believe that is the case.
Okay. Well, then my bite attack against this dude, that is going to give me 5 success.
Yeah, an additional die damage for the remainder of the scene.
Okay.
So you have successfully struck him.
All right. And then the damage was, what was the damage?
Your strength, and I believe in the Guru form, your claw damage, your claw attack is a +2. And I was trying to remember. You get a +4 strength for being in Krynos form.
Yep.
And it's a claw attack is a +2. And you have an additional 1, so it makes it +3. So strength, which you have a 9 strength.
Yeah.
+2 is an 11. So
right.
you need 11 dice.
At 6 difficulty?
At 6 difficulty.
That is going to give me 3 success.
He soaks 2.
Okay.
But that is enough that you walk up from behind and you take your claw and you just run it right through him. This kind of green blood splatters out onto Baufrin from the other side as your Krynos claws just dig right in from the back right up through the front. And you just rend this poor Fomori into 2 between the 2 of you.
Okay.
Bert, it's your turn. You've got this vat.
Are there any more of these Fomori still on the tables?
There's 2 of them that are standing up.
Can I drop the vat on one of them?
Yeah, you got it aimed now. So make
right.
that strength athletics roll to steer this thing.
Let's see, 4, 6.
It's DC. It's still DC 8. It's ginormous. It's heavy.
5 successes.
5 successes. So you just turn this vat and you just Incredible Hulk this thing over, and it comes crashing down and it smashes the other 2 Fomori underneath it. Caustic chemicals pour across the floor, racing over towards the guy with the can of whatever just sprayed at Chuck. And you see his eyes get real big as the chemicals wash up over him in like a splashing wave that hits the wall. He drops down to his knees and starts trembling as these caustic chemicals start to eat away at him. It's about this point that you realize that these chemicals are starting to creep all over the floor back towards you guys as well.
We should make like a tree.
Let's cheese it. Just break everything on the way out. Cause as much damage as you can.
Make a perception and investigation check on your way out. All 3 of you can make it if you want.
All right.
Perception and investigation. Oh, it's a knowledge. If you don't have it, you can't roll it.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I got 1 in perception. So does that mean...
Just make straight perception roll then.
Yeah. 7 for difficulty.
Yeah.
2 successes.
Cool.
Oh, look at that. Trick got 1 success.
Yeah.
You got 2 successes? 2 successes. All right. So when the vat pours out and you see it wash up over there near the guy, you didn't notice it till you were leaving, but you notice there is one large femur and one skull that looks like a wolf-like skull that came flying out of the vat and washes up against the edge of the wall.
That's not good. They were making wolf soup.
Yep.
Chuck, with your successes, the guy dropped the can that he was holding that he shot at you, rolls over towards you. It says Chemicor walking farts on it.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let the world know where you've been.
That's right. Let the world know where you've been. All of these fine products brought to you by Chemicor.
Yeah.
Ding.
Prop dusters are us.
Mhm.
There you go.
So you guys have spilt this vat. You make your way back out. The plant has been evacuated.
Yeah, just do maximum damage on the way out. If we can find a security room, make sure that goes up in flames with all the tubes.
Yeah.
Don't forget the eyes that remember.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys case the joint on your way out. And we'll just kind of narrate it out from here. You guys get back out, you hop the fence or rip a hole through it for all it matters at this point.
Mhm.
Most of the employees are over there in the parking lot at their muster stations where they're all supposed to gather should there be a fire or incident. You guys can clearly see the mass of people over that way. You're clearly going to go the other way. You make your way out with a bunch of destroyed cameras, and whatever found footage could potentially be leaked later will probably look like the Bigfoot footage that, there'll be some rumor of some Sasquatch or something, that they're working on in these plants or whatever. The last thing that you notice as you get out, you guys take a moment to turn back and look as the place is on fire. And there's a couple of like local fire department trucks there with the hoses out trying to wash things down, and they brought in there's police cars pulling up there to kind of keep anyone from getting too close. And you see a man in a suit with black glasses comes walking out of the front of the building, and he's out there and he's talking to some authorities and he's pointing around and everything else, and you see he kind of turns and looks your direction, kind of looking past the rest of the crowd.
I lift my leg and relieve myself, letting everyone know that I own this place.
There you go.
You guys wander off back into the city. Make your way back to the Sept of the Silver Cross, where you can report into the higher-ups that you have discovered the unfortunate fate of the Windbreaker pack. And now you know what the fight is going to be to regain the turf in the slums of Liberty City.
Okay.
Fucking Pentex.
Well, those dicks.
Yay.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
Chuck, just wait till you get to run into your first team.
I don't know what that is. Okay.
Yeah. Pentex first team. Yeah. These guys were hatchlings compared to them.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
First team is like the SEAL Team 6 of Pentex.
Oh, goddamn. Okay.
Like, this Pentex deals with such like weird pseudoscience all the time. Like their people can have like psychic abilities. They can like mind screw you. Like some of them will come in and they're just big, huge brutes with like doomsday like claws coming out their fist and everything. Like you never know with Pentex when Fomori's like what you're gonna find.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks for running.
There's
Yeah,
some of the
man.
worst of the worst. So anyway, that is an example of play of Werewolf. Again, you're building dice pools. You're splitting them up sometimes. Sometimes you're just going all out. You're spending rage for extra actions because werewolves are just killing machines.
Yeah.
Whenever the next moot would come around, what I would do at the end of a game session, just to cover this before we sign off, I would go through this book and I would think of all the things that happened, like mating and Chuck losing control and frenzying and killing some hapless science woman who is just, doing her job, right? And all those things have pluses and minuses to your honor, your glory, and your willpower, or your
Wisdom.
And we would count those things up and you would fill in those bottom boxes based on things that you had done. And whenever those things get full, they become permanent points. And you would track those as you keep going. And that's how you track essentially what your rank is in Guru Society.
Yeah, and when you do it really well, you tell the story of it. And you tell it around the fire at the moot. And you get people into it. And, he might offer a little more based on like how well you tell the story.
Right. So that's where having a Galliard in your group helps, because in the Galliard, the bard gets to come in and he gets to tell the story of your guys' ransacking of the Pentex plant down by the river. And, and then if he does a good job telling the story, you guys might gain rank and move up. If he does a piss poor job, then, you just gain what you had perhaps, and you have to wait till another moot cycle to try to gain rank again. So Grouch Couch is raiding. Welcome, Grouch Couch, with your party 11.
God damn.
You're just here in time to watch us wrap up.
Yeah.
These fine werewolves here just ransacked a Kimbercore Zincola plant that was making themselves some Fomori out of dead werewolves.
We did.
Yep.
Those dicks.
Those dicks. Okay.
That's all right.
For first time, Chuck, what did you feel about just the system of Werewolf?
It was I don't have a problem with the system. There's just a lot of lore to it that
Werewolf is a lot of lore.
Yeah, I felt lost in the lore. The mechanics of it seem nice and simple. I kind of like the basic you have your scores, you add your pool, and you see if you pass or fail. And that's just the little bit I saw. I don't know any of the details of it, but yeah.
And that's the thing about the World of Darkness in general. It's such a simple design to its dice system. The dice system is quick and easy, and that's what I've always liked about it. It's a very narrative system because you can just quick dice roll, boom, you're going. Quick dice roll, you're going.
I mean, there is the problem though that the dice mechanics don't fit the math, because the more dice you roll, the more likely you are to roll ones as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, it is and it's not. Like, you're more likely to roll a one. If you roll 10 dice, you're more likely to get a one than if you roll 2 dice. But when the difficulty is standard around 6 to 7, depending on what you're doing, you've got a 30% chance on every die succeeding and only a 10% chance of getting a 1.
Yeah, so and if
it still works out that more dice is still better. It's just occasionally it fucks you.
If you understand how your forms function, then you also know how to build for your forms and like how to work within those forms and what they're good for.
Yeah, I'll say that's definitely an argument that a guy on my crew, Joe, he has a complaint about DCC. Once you go up to the D24, the D30, your chances of getting that crit success go down. And he's not but that's kind of the same point I think you were making is you add more dice. Yeah.
Now, what's hard with the World of Darkness system, and Bert brought this up before we started, when do I make needing more than one success the bar versus when do I just say instead of 7, you're looking for 8s, you're looking for 9s, versus you need 3 8s or 3 7s. You know what I mean? Like that's always been the incredibly vague, unclear part of how many successes and at what difficulty should the die roll be. And that is
Okay.
completely, and in my opinion, on purpose, left to a GM on any situation to just arbitrarily decide. They don't even give you examples in the book
Okay.
for the most part. Like
Yeah,
they want it
if
to
you want
just
an
be
extend-
completely a GM call at any point in time.
Right. So you can build in an extended task into one die roll because you need X
yeah.
amount of successes. And if you can't get it in, if you can't meet X amount of successes in this first die roll, you can make another die roll to try and meet it.
Yep.
But you could also sit there and assess those ones as penalties to the previous successes too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
like if he fails that extended challenge to tip over that tank, if he fails on the second roll the next round, that thing comes crashing back down on top of him. Perhaps he loses his strength and it comes right back on top of him. You know, like, and that all just started from an initial idea of him thinking he was just going to rip the leg off of it, and then realizing he needed to turn it. So what was going to be a basic action turned into extended action that needed a couple of successes and a couple of rounds worth of trying.
Yeah.
So like.
When I heard it was going to be dice pools, I'm only vaguely familiar with Shadowrun mechanics. I have studied it some, so I was expecting to count successes, like they did in whatever edition of Shadowrun that I've read up on. So
you should try Earthdawn at some point.
I could, yeah. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, I'm always
that's
down to
pretty
try
cool game.
things.
Die step systems. 1879 uses a very similar system too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a ton of lore that comes with the World of Darkness. So much so that if you think of like Dungeons and Dragons as a game system, it's more like you can understand how to play a World of Darkness game in 5 minutes. And once I've shown you how to play one, you can play all of them. They all work
Okay.
off of the same basic idea. Brawl, melee, all of it works it's identical across the board.
Okay.
Yep.
The only thing you have to learn moving from one game to the next is the stuff at the bottom of the sheet. Like you have rage, gnosis, willpower here.
Yeah.
If you get a vampire, you're gonna have a humanity bar and a blood bar, and you're like, "What is this? This is crazy!" And you're gonna learn how those work instead.
Fifth
But
edition
all of them-
Vampire changed that one. You don't have a blood pool anymore. You roll hunger dice.
Right. Yeah.
Or a rouse check to do things instead of worried about tracking blood pools now.
Yeah. Which is all like in the newer stuff. But so it's interesting, like when you move from one game to the next, like I said, the nuances are a little different. But you know, it's that in my opinion, the World of Darkness is a super easy system to teach. You can pick it up in no time and understand what you're doing. But the downside is like to really understand the World of Darkness, there is so much lore that you have to know.
Yep.
Like if you don't know the lore, it's cool maybe the first time you're playing, because like you get to learn this stuff as you go. But to me, it's like trying to understand Ravenloft, Forgotten Realms, and Greyhawk all at the same time to play one campaign.
Yeah.
You know, because they're all individual books with so much content creep that's been shoved into them over decades. Like it's so much to pick up and learn.
One of the things that I was saying is that the fluff or the lore is actually important to the system as well, because it is a balancing fact to the raw numbers. Like, for instance, if we didn't care about breaking the veil, we could have just gone full Krynos and full view of everyone and just ripped the place apart. But you don't do that because you're trying to maintain the veil. You don't want the existence of Garu to be out there to the general public. So there is a background lore that actually influences what's going to go on in the system because of that.
He did not misspell werewolf. He was trying to say we're old, and he put an extra W in there. That's all it really was.
What did I do?
In the title for tonight's game, you have werewolf as a D
Oh,
instead of
yeah,
an F.
we're just old. That's it was
It's just we're
intentional.
old is what it was supposed to say.
Yeah.
Bad fur day.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, you salt and pepper having people.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, you know, like I said, Werewolf was the first World of Darkness game that I played. I was a sophomore in high school, and our early adventures were very much like this. It was like you go in, you find something bad, and then you're just like screw it, we're burning the whole place down, we're going home. And that was pretty much what
Nice.
you guys decided to do tonight. So
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's late as fuck here, so let's do some sign off.
Chuck, why don't you lead us off with the sign-offs?
All right. Once again, I am Chuck with Defenders of Cobalt. You can tune in tomorrow night, twitch.tv/Defenders of Cobalt, for our 5th edition game called Blades and Pepper Shakers. You can also come back here, NotoriousDMG.tv or Notorious DMG TV, Saturday night, and I'll be running some Tiny Dungeon. It should be a blast. Yeah. So, yeah, that's me.
Baufrin, what you got going on?
All right. Normally we're doing Savage Worlds on Tuesdays with the Gather All setting for Savage Mojo. That may be up in the air a little bit with the Corona situation and some of the stuff that's going on that end. You'll probably have to edit out that particular word because YouTube doesn't like that word.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
The beer virus. Probably can't even say virus. Oh well. But yeah, I stream Tuesdays 8 p.m. till around 10 generally. Sometimes I throw in some other content. Fantasy Grounds help. Even though I'm playing on Roll20, I don't have a problem playing on Roll20, and I think some people get that wrong about me. I do prefer Fantasy Grounds, but I'll obviously play Roll20 to play some old school classic stuff that I don't have access to. But yeah, on to
Bert.
Sure. Bert of Steam, Steel, and Murder. I don't do streams. We do podcasts. We drop one every 2 weeks in general. Currently, we're playing BX version of Dungeons & Dragons, Dresden Files with Fate Accelerated, the classic TSR Indiana Jones revisioned as a pulp adventure game.
Wow.
And we're about to start off a Savage Worlds Wise Guy game. So those are the current running games you will find in our feed.
Nice.
That's cool. I play tested Wise Guys with Eric.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I am Dustin from Tabletop to Keyboard. That is TT2KB on Twitch and Twitter. You can find me there Monday nights on my podcast show, The Wisdom Check, where me and another member of TT2KB, Jeff, we have guests on every week, including some of these sexy mofos right here who have been on the show. Chuck is still our highest viewed episode.
That is it.
I've had Satine Phoenix on there.
Beat her.
I've had Larry Elmore on there.
Beat him.
And we may even have some people with the last name Gygax coming on there soon.
Oh,
and somehow
shit.
Chuck is still our most viewed
Still
episode.
gonna beat him
Because nobody promotes Chuck like Chuck. So all bow down to Chuck and all
That's
his
it.
glory. But we do a podcast every Monday. Wednesday nights, I'm now playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Every Wednesday, Jeff is running Pathfinder for us. If you haven't gone there and heard my Mike Tyson voice, you totally should. My character's a boxer, and it's awesome. And on Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but a week from Saturday, will be Everstorm, our 5e game. Saturdays, 10 p.m. You can find it also on TT2KB. We have art shows and music shows on there as well. We do a lot of variety of stuff there, me and my friends. It's a good time. We have a good time putting all that stuff together. So check all that out. Here, Notorious DMG. You never know exactly when you're going to find us again next. Are you guys streaming Tinies on here?
Yeah, Saturday.
Okay, so that will be here?
Yeah.
Okay. So Saturday, you can come back here, find Tiny Dungeons. I won't be in that game. I'll be at work. Very sad. They always do these things on the nights I work, it seems like.
Yeah.
But tomorrow night, Chuck is doing some 5e, and I suppose I should be kind of mad, even though he ditched on us tonight.
Mm.
I am a player in the Zweihander game that he runs on Friday nights at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm playing a battle nun by the name of Miguel. And you should totally check us out playing Enemy Within, which is a Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game module, very famous one from my understanding. And we're making our way through it using Zweihander rules. So you can tune in tomorrow. But what you should really do is watch Chuck instead, because Matt's not here.
Yeah.
And he sucks for not being here. So watch Chuck instead.
There we
Don't
go.
watch me. Watch Chuck.
That's it.
Because he's
You mean
here.
Chuck the better Matt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
The one who showed up.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Shots
Oh.
fired. Shots
Oh.
fired.
fired. Man. It's
Ah,
brutal
all
around here.
right, let's get out of here before we cause any more trouble.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for
Hope
watching.
Megan's feel better.
Thanks for the game.
Yep.